hello, and welcome to D4, where I, Dustin.
And I, Devin, Codium, a 5th edition game of Dungeons.
And Dragons!
Woo!
Hey, we have Catkins back.
At the table!
Yeah! Thankfully, she's come out to visit us, and we are happy to have our lovely barbarian at the table again. So, yeah, thanks for coming and visiting.
And also, it's Dev's birthday! Happy birthday, Devin!
Happy birthday,
I glow, and now we don't have rights.
Right.
Actually,
There's
I
no
know
rights.
it's
It's public domain.
Happy
No, we don't have the rights.
birthday
Dev's like, no, wrong right.
This is your birthday song. It isn't very long.
to ya.
I can sing you the down.
And the song has come to its natural conclusion. The March of Absalon is almost over. Absalon is considered to be the city of buried treasure, and Beetle and Grimm have unearthed some treasures for you. Not only have they brought back the previously sold-out Ghost Salt Marsh Silver Edition, but they are running a March sale on everything Pathfinder. Don't get lost on your path. Find your character class in a journal, a leather bag of holding, your badges, pins, coins, as well as your Absalon City of Lost Omens Gold Edition campaign box, all for 20% off until the end of March. It's my birthday. Go buy something for yourself.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Tell me about it.
With that, we'll move to our other sponsors. Goblin, you got anything for Die Hard Dice?
Y'all, I forgot my bag tonight. I don't have any of my usual dice. I don't have any of my Die Hard dice. Oh wait, no, I do. I've got some of these. But I'm a little nervous about how it's going to go tonight, because Die Hard provides the very best in dice. They roll for great story. I don't know what's going to happen. I might go ahead and make a second character. I have faith in Die Hard. You should have faith in them too. Head on over to their website, put in code D4BFFs or D4BFGs, and get 10% off your order. And it helps us out. So it's a win-win. There's no reason not to do it. I'm going to judge you if you don't do it.
Help us help you.
I'm really tired. Okay, go ahead.
So, if you're like Goblin and forgot your dice and are probably going to need to make a new character soon, head on over to dndbeyond.com, where they have 2 amazing articles about creating backstory for your first D&D character and how to get better at role-playing in D&D, help level up your game style for when you inevitably die because you forgot your Die Hard dice. So, visit dndbeyond.com.
And you know who I have faith in? Me! Eldon Kevin is who I have faith in! You can always count on Eldon Kevin! And Eldon Kevin has been working with Eldritch Foundry to make something even more powerful than ever! Perhaps you do not like the typical poses that Eldritch Foundry give you, despite the fact that they are clearly the greatest of all time! Then you need to use the new
Gizmo system.
That's right, the Gizmo system! The Gizmo system allows you to absolutely change your character's pose into whatever it is you'd like to do. And if you want to meet the brainiacs behind the actual Eldritch Foundry, Eldon Kevin won't be there because I'm far too mysterious, then you need to check out PAX East, March 23rd through the 26th. It says 36th in the message I got, but that can't be true. In Boston! Stop by their booth, which is TT54 in the tabletop hall. They'll be open late. Eldritch Foundry is always open late, just like Eldon Kevin's basement, where he gets to sleep around 5 and wakes up somewhere around 3. And you can check out the
Gizmo system.
yourself. So make sure you put in hashtag Eldritch in the chat for your chance to win your own Eldritch Foundry miniature. Yes, I have a Giga Chad voice that I've been hiding from you this entire time, that's fine. But if you don't want to use the hashtag Eldritch, or you don't win tonight, don't worry, put D4D into the chat. Into the coupon code for your 50% off your own Eldritch Foundry miniature. Eldon Kevin has so many powerful ways to get cool Eldritch Foundry miniatures, he's losing track. Check out that
Gizmo system.
as soon as you possibly can.
What?
Hi.
She's back, baby.
Aren't you glad to be back?
Yeah. You want to know who I believe in? Just a little guy. Just cute little guys. Or gals. They're gender neutral. Or specified. It's really up to them. I don't know them. But you're gonna on Idle Champions of Forgotten Realms. Because we're thrilled to collaborate with Jasmine Bueller for release of Isra the Infernal Horned Toad Familiar, which is coming on March 22nd, which is just like a couple days from now. And all the net proceeds of all Isra sales from the first week of launch will be donated to Girls Who Code. So you get a cute little guy or gal, cute little
Them.
buddy, little buddy, little bud, And proceeds go to good things. We like good things. We want more good things? You want more good things? Good things you can have right now with our code below us. Won't G's Cuda. So that's the code. Can you if you're able to just listen to this and type it out, kudos to you. But I don't have enough faith in you. Kudo to you. Just the one kudo. You don't get more than one kudo. So you should just look at the stream real quick. You should just look at the playback if this is the podcast, or look at it right now as you're watching me. Look at you. Look at me, look at you. And then look below me. And that is where the code is. You're welcome.
She's just a girl watching a person put a code in.
I love you so much.
And then if you feel like supporting us with beautiful apparel or lovely drinkware or really anything you could want, head over to d4dndrpg.com. There are so many triple letters in that. It's a great little song. If I was musically inclined, I'd sing, but I'm not, so I won't. I love you. Goodbye.
Without further ado, let us immerse ourselves.
Into the Chronicles of D4. And we're back.
Last time on Dancing in the Desolation of Delirium and Defeat, the BFGs had just vanquished Illitron after his cryptic words of, "Even if you kill me now, I will have my victory. My spider in the council is infecting others as we speak, and I will return." However, on the heels of that victory was the impending doom of the god-infused George Forsworn and the aberration-corrupted hag Auntie Agnes, as they poured through reality into the grove unexpectedly. Yet the more frightening thing may have been the fact that the BFGs were not their targets.
Agnes, seeming to run distraction, peppered the heroes with her new gazing arcane abilities granted by the Elder Eye, while the brute of what once was merely a human fished for something buried in the roots of the tree. The only person to see through everything was Harold, with his true sight, saw George reaching through and into all three convergent planes that connect here, grabbing onto one of the hidden tablets of fate. The party was able to land a few heavy blows against the hag as Karina healed the tree, which in turn healed any of its allies it was touching. Harold cleverly tried to get George to let go of the tablet by casting heat metal on Bane's gauntlet. And although the plan failed, Harold got a glimpse of the pain and sadness that plagued the maddened man. However, in the end, despite severely injuring the hag, her resilience and self-healing allowed for the two to escape with one of the tablets of fate.
In the wake of the battle, Seisha was left dazed and stunned while Vinley had died.
You were dead.
No,
yeah,
I
you were
wasn't.
dead. Oh, shut up.
With seconds to spare, Seisha breaks free from her stupor and revives Vinley, who claims she never died. She just got dropped, came back. It was mere seconds. But after all of that happened, they discussed what to do next. Although they had not come to a conclusion of that, everyone tired from a long battle and a long day, went to sleep, except for one, Harold. Knowing that this area touched the Feywild, spoke out in order to talk to them, also known as Oscar, the Archfey that gives Harold his powers, as they had a conversation about what has been happening. And although Harold felt defeated, Oscar reinforced the notion that he saved, the BFGs saved, 3 planes. The Prime Material Plane, the Feywild, and the Forest of Arvindor, the holy forest within the chaotic good prime, or the good alignment. What is that? The higher...
Planescape?
The higher planes. Higher planes.
Oh.
Doing amazing stuff.
This is
Upper
really
planes.
fun.
Yes.
Okay. Seeing if we get there. But yeah, with that, the party awoken with Karina maintaining throughout the night the ritual, aiding Emiria, Vinley's sister, in completely healing and cleansing the Tree of Souls of its infection, that corruption that grew from these Lion's Bane mushrooms, which still cling to the tree, but that corruption is no longer infecting the roots and the heart of the tree itself. As the party wakes to discuss what to do next, Karina is seen snoring away, catching a little bit of rest, and as such, everybody levels to 14.
Karina just wakes up like, I feel really good.
Me, just healed a Tree of Souls. Tree of Souls probably like, I got you.
And
Hey, boo.
But Vinley takes a moment to speak with her sister, who is still either maintaining the ritual or in a trance. And there's a moment where they actually have a sisterly bond, probably the first time in
So sweet.
a long time. And it's not like a fun sisterly bond.
Oh, no, it was dead on sister bond.
But it is definitely that sibling rivalry.
You know all their buttons, and you're gonna push them all at the same time.
Exactly.
It's just tea. It's fine. It's fine.
Their bond was short-lived.
Eventually, though, the Vinley comes to the group with the notion of conducting a seance.
Maybe paper towels might not be fine.
Bailey or Alex, could you bring us some paper towels?
But and brings up the notion of conducting a seance in order to contact Nessaquah to have a conversation about what has happened, and if Nessaquah has any information about how to stop Illatron or Kymel Nimison. The party reluctantly agrees, but does so in the best interests inside of the portable hole, where Vinley learns that it wasn't Mistra that saved her all those years ago. It was actually the Baelnor Nessaquah that manifested through her.
And through Nessaquah, they learn that Illatran, or Kymel Nimison, was indeed a lich, and therefore had a phylactery, and it was something very closely tied to him, which point they realized, where is that wedding ring? And with some quick looking and finding that glimmer and glint, they find this ring, now in Vinley's possession.
Horrible little thing.
I believe that was most of everything that happened.
Nope.
Y'all got into a lot while I was
Oh,
on
yeah.
some Z's.
There's a lot of talking.
I was just fucking sawing logs. Y'all were getting stuff done.
And
It's
as
the
the
opposite of selling logs, actually. You're healing the trees.
I put some logs back right.
Yeah, you like unsawed the log.
Unsolved log.
but as the hours pour through and it's about midday.
Oh no, real quick.
Okay.
We have a comfortable breakfast.
Okay, comfortable
Oh, thank
breakfast.
you.
Yes, yes.
So
And-
glad.
Yeah.
I do want to kind of
My roleplay will completely
harvest.
change
I know, right?
I do want to kind of harvest some of those lion's bane mushrooms as well.
Lion's mane, but yes.
Lion's bane, because correct me if I'm wrong. These are the things that create the the shielding potion, correct?
The sanity potion.
Sanity
not,
potions.
not the mind shielding potion.
Yes.
The sanity potion. Go ahead and give me a nature check or survival, either way.
Hey, Miria.
While she's doing that, are there any flowers?
Yeah, there can be flowers in the
Is it a
grove.
nat 20?
I want to go
Oh,
over
God.
and dig up a small flower with the root ball intact. And I'm going to take one of my socks and I'm going to bundle it around the root ball and I'm going to bring it over to Venley.
Thank you.
You said you wanted a flower.
I look in.
Well, it's the
The
sock is wrapped
top
around the
sticking
bowl.
out.
Oh, okay, work.
Yeah.
Can I look at the flower and see if it's the one I was looking for? The glowing one?
Is that what you were going for? Or did you not know exactly?
I don't know if you've ever mentioned that,
Yeah.
so
It's not.
yeah.
It's not
Oh,
the
this
one.
is
It's
beautiful.
Yeah.
And I put it in my bag of holding because I'm like, I don't know where to put a.
And then I turn around and walk away.
Turn around, Amir's like,
We just saved that. You can give me a flower.
I just realized Karina slept through all this after like spending that time with Amiria, just like side eyeing her as they're healing the tree, just like, you make one false move, I swear to God. And she's gonna wake up and be like, oh wait, we like her now.
Buck and find out.
And I got a natural 20 for a 25 on the nature check.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Sure. Let's. You did good.
Thank you.
Amiria will come up and be like, "What are you? You know that the fung we've cured the tree. It's fine, but I don't know. It's not necessary.
These make potions of sanity.
Oh, I did feel something touch my mind when they appeared, but I was able to withstand it. What is?
Oh, good. Well,
You know, your sister's very intelligent, very wise.
yeah. I'm not sure the specifics of it, Amiria, but one of my partners actually makes these. And I 22 on an insight check on her when I say one of my partners.
One of is if not it's
She a bigot?
I mean more of like
surprised.
That I
not
got
in
a
the
partner.
not yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
It's more people would date you?
Yeah, exactly.
You had like there's
Oh.
more than one and we'll have you?
And you see
Not one, but two.
you see for a moment, a mere moment, she falls back on old habits and thinks, oh, she probably manipulated them, but it cuts that off immediately.
Like, oh, of course she has it. No, they probably like her.
Yeah, no, but has, because of the past 24
Yeah.
hours, has been like, that's how she used to see you.
It's
And-
that knee-jerk reaction of being over someone's enchantment spell on their mind and being like, wait, no, that's not how I feel.
She's still got to work on herself. But she goes, one day I'd like to meet them.
I would love that. They're actually a druid as well.
Looks at you like, for real?
I know. It was a long road.
you get 7.
The other one's a lich hunter, you
7.
know? That's irony at its finest.
Freud would be very interesting in the fact that you're dating someone the same class as your sister. Oh, good morning, Bentley.
Good morning, everyone. As part of that natural 20, can I also find one of the glowing bloom blossoms?
Yes. Knowing that, looking around the grove, you can find a few of them, but
Piggybacking on what you said, what a weird intrusive thought.
That's just Karina. I'm pretty sure she has a +5 to intrusive thoughts.
with everybody awake, Amiria speaks up to the grove, to all of you. So those two were the creatures you all talked about looking to destroy the world?
Working with them and part of
They are
them.
agents of the elder evil that is attempting to invade our world.
It's more like a squad, really.
What is it they took from the
We have
tree?
a party too.
One of the tablets of faith. Fate, sorry. One of the tablets of fate.
What's that?
They are.
Fables, they're myths, legends.
No, they're not.
So
Legends are
is this
born
tree.
from truth.
So the whole reliving is kind of easy to believe that a fable and a myth might be true.
I mean, we've kind of met gods, so I think the
I
lines
just,
are a little
you know,
blurred.
I'm just not really
Yeah.
surprised anymore these days.
I asked the
You're
tree.
literally standing in Evermeet.
I asked the tree, and the souls say it was the last thing the former queen put here, but the queen would not say what it was.
Now you know. And they have.
And it's fable that these bind our world. And you're saying this is real,
Deadly real.
and now it's in their hands.
Yeah.
Yep.
How did they get here? Why didn't the Seldarine stop them? Why didn't the Seldarine stop Kymel?
They are working as hard as they can to do these things outside the notice of divine beings. They're not going to stop with the gods of Faerun.
Something we forgot in the recap. That was another thing that you all learned in the seance, is that the reason why they showed up and the reason why the reason why the Seldarine probably didn't help is because all of Kymel's and Illatron's plans were...
Suppressing the tree's connection
right.
to Arvindor.
That's right.
it was all a web of lies and illusion and deceit created by Lolth.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
So when that went away, it's like a flashlight in a dark room.
do you explain all of this to Miriam?
I will say that.
Is there anything else that we're missing?
How we're going to defeat them.
Yes. And she gestures to the stone crystal in her chest. I don't know if you remember, but...
That one of those fell out of him. Is that how he keeps coming back?
No, thankfully, that truly would be a nightmare if this was his phylactery. This is actually a piece of a much bigger thing called a myth.
I'm sorry. A phylactery, you're saying he was a lich.
Yes.
Is that what that is?
Explains how he keeps coming back. How do we stop this?
I hold up the band.
Does that have to do with anything?
This is his phylactery. This needs to be destroyed for him to no longer reform. Or, if Lamrel wishes, we could put it somewhere he's going to reform around this ring.
If there's any chance of him coming back. No.
Right.
No.
Trying to break it with my hands and I can't because I'm weak.
How do we destroy it?
If we had a specific sword, we could.
Could I roll Arcana to double check to make sure that Vinley does or doesn't know exactly how to destroy a phylactery?
You can roll Arcana.
Ethan, did you
Yeah.
absorb, what was its name?
He
All
has
it
it. He
does
did
is-
not absorb it.
Okay.
I didn't absorb it. I have it, but
Oh, you
all it
have
does
it?
is Shatter Spike. Yeah.
Yeah.
But all it does is crit objects. It's not like it would
Yeah.
destroy.
But I'm thinking crit smite with somebody who's really, really strong.
I'm worried that it's a magic
Right.
item and it can't be destroyed. by
Well, this
normal
is a
means.
special axe, or this is a special sword.
Well,
Still,
going off of that mindset,
24.
24, you know that phylacteries are unique to those that they hold, and each one has its own set of rules, its own contingencies, anything like that. You do know some people that might know.
You're dating one of them.
Vinley's brain just lights up like a Christmas tree and she's like, oh, why don't I just send a sending to Davil?
Yeah.
Another one of my partners, Lich Hunter. And her eyes roll back.
Why isn't he here?
And she's going to cast sending to Devil.
Okay.
When she goes, "Why isn't he here?" I just lean over and just playfully whisper, "Sun Elf." Harold has no idea no idea about the implications.
deep confusion and just completely perplexed.
And Harold just gives her one of these. Yeah.
Have phylactery.
He goes through.
Because we're in a weird spot.
He's in his house.
Oh, work. Have phylactery. Needs destroying. How do. Loth Lich mushroom theming. It's a ring to the Dark Southern.
Love you.
I'm not done. Okay. Shit. I love you.
There's an urgency that comes back, and his typical suave demeanor, even though you know his true self, he still tries to sometimes play it
It's
up.
nice sometimes.
It's cute.
Find phylactery. Remove its arcane protections. Destroy it. Somewhere specific in how. Legend lore would hint. Upcasted identify could tell. Do not wait.
If there was a mental thumbs up that I could do without magic, that happens.
Thumbs up emoji sent.
Yeah.
It's like the like react.
Exactly. I relay that the specific place, it has to be specific. It could be anywhere from the glade at home, Amiria, to, I don't know, the palace throne room, because he's been messing around with elves for generations at this point. But
You reiterated everything?
yeah, I reiterate the sending.
Okay, that's fine. Does anybody have legend lore? Does anybody have identify spell?
Petunia does.
I have identified.
Druid. I do not have this
Petunia
ability.
has legend lore.
Oh, that's awful.
Sorry, I was muted the whole time. I was like, me, I do.
We passed the
I do,
ring
I
over
do.
to
Give it,
Petunia.
give it.
And I'll get started on ritually casting.
Yes, thank you. Petunia. Gives you like a shit-eating fuck you, kind of like, all right.
And she's already like cutting her hand while smiling to do the identify. She's setting it up.
Let me get to legend lore. Bam.
The BAM you casting it?
Yes, the bam is me casting it. See
It's
this
10
one?
minutes for her to cast it.
It is.
Okay.
So,
Oh, we can do it at the same time. Perfect.
Got it.
and hers is much less dramatic. It just like looks like automatic writing to her.
What level are you casting?
She's ritually casting it. So
Okay, basic. Got it.
Yeah, I don't have it prepared.
Got it.
Don't be basic.
So for you, you get that for Vinley, a ring fused with illusions, dark necromantic magic, and contingent evocation magic that causes the wearer to teleport and heal upon death. Stored in the ring is the ability to cast Charm Person, Command, Web, Spider Climb, and Charm Monster.
We're keeping the ring.
It does
No,
not.
we're not.
It does not identify as a phylactery.
Work.
It's just a magic ring.
We're keeping the ring.
No, we're not.
Petunia, you get a little different with your legend lore. As you hold or kind of looking at this ring, your quill kind of takes form itself and just begins to write. And you learn that this is a phylactery given to the servant Kymel Nimison after tainting his blood and soul with the dark magics to make him Feyre. A ring forged in hatred of where the Spider Queen was once cast out from will find its doom. Break its chains with the 4 chains of the Prime and split in between with the light and the dark. However, it will then still be the strength of its metal that can only break under the destruction of something that can destroy all metal.
And the two words of metal is, it still has the strength of its mettle, and needs something that can destroy all metal.
Forge or maybe the sword. After we remove the protections from it.
Quite a few things in there.
Since it's still early in the day, can I prepare identify? I don't think that's how that works, but
If you have already prepared your spells for the day, then nope.
Yep. She'll relay all of that to everyone and be like, well, that was some information and some wordplay, but some information.
And you know that most of the time, legend lore, especially with things like this, will give you vague hints and stuff like that.
It's got to be vague and flowery, poetry, stuff like that. It makes for great prompts.
Amelia, is this
What?
ringing any
You're not wrong.
bells for you?
I'm just now learning that it is a phylactery, and I've been wearing it for so long.
Probably wasn't very good for your mental health.
Everybody sometimes wears things they don't want to.
Right.
I've got these pants that I used to have.
Harold,
Sorry.
There's a couple things that stand out. Where it was forged, it will find its doom, or the hatred it was forged from, it will find its doom. There's 4 chains of the prime, something split between light and dark, and then obviously something strong enough to destroy metal.
Is there a location somewhere in Evermeet that is a place of power for the elements?
For the elements, not really, no. This is the strongest connection on Evermeet, right here.
All right.
Kinshome's very
I think the light and dark.
elemental.
Sorry.
I was saying Kinshome was elemental.
I doubt he left this place, though. It'd
Yeah.
probably have to be in there.
Oh,
It'd have
probably.
to be in Evermeet. Light and dark might be referencing the sun elves and moon elves coming together to destroy it.
Interesting idea. Where it was forged is where it will meet its doom.
Do you know where the ring came from?
Specifically, the line is, a ring forged in hatred of where the Spider Queen was once cast out from will find its doom.
Well, there we go. Where was she?
Cast from?
Yeah.
I point to the route that leads to Arvindor. She was cast from Arvindor to the abyss.
It sounds like somebody's gonna maybe need to go to Arvindor, or maybe here is strong enough.
This place touches Arvindor. or
Okay,
is
so
touched
here
by
should
Arvindor.
work then.
Just do me a favor real quick. Take the other side of it. I just wanna
like
s-
there's a lattice and it's hung in the lattice. Like so
Yeah,
hold
take the other
lattice.
side of the ring.
Okay, touch the ring.
I'm gonna try and break it with her.
Like
Make a strength check.
We have to get rid of the protections on it first. It said you have to remove the arcane protections and then you can break it.
And this is where the 4 ways meet.
Said break its chain with the 4 chains of the prime. Split it between the light and dark.
What are the chains of the prime? Is that the 4 elements?
It sounds like the 4 elements.
Or could it be north, south, east, west?
I thought there were 5 elements.
Oh, there's 4.
Earth, fire,
Physical.
wind, water, heart.
Here, Harold, have another biscuit.
I'm sure to you, heart is an element.
I don't know. Isn't the 5th element? It's either heart or love. I know the 5th element is one of those.
Spear.
I thought the 5th element was. Never mind.
A divine being.
So,
She really liked Big Bada Boom.
She was perfect.
should we attempt to hit it with all 4 elements at one time while being in the presence of Arvindor?
That might do it.
Alright. I have...
Should I try to dispel magic on it?
If we
Couldn't hurt.
do it tomorrow I could hit it with all 4.
I can do all 4. Or at least one. Does it
2
have
and
to be,
2? That one hand each?
Does it have to be at the same time?
It may not be at the same time because it's the chains of the...
I feel like at the same time might be... If I was making a spell, I'd make it as difficult as possible.
Actually, I think I can cast 3 of the 4 if you want to get the last.
Okay.
I
Let me check. I might have something already.
I grew up reading stories, and I'm very passionate about stories. And it seems like the right step here would be for the 2 people who were the most wronged by him to be the ones who break his tether to this world.
That's why I cannot produce elements.
I was going to say,
Okay.
I don't think Bentley can do elemental
I'm looking
magic.
down and I'm like,
Well,
I got religious fire.
You don't have a fireball?
I got religious fire.
If that is how you want to write the story, that is fine. But I do not care how it gets done.
Getting it destroyed
I've
is
got
yeah.
wind.
Go, yeah.
I can.
Okay.
I could
I
hit it.
Well, I have something that does what mechanical question because I haven't used the spell before. Investiture of wind.
Does it do damage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Does it do lightning or lightning
I
damage?
mean, I can do lightning damage.
Yeah,
that's
that's
what you would.
basically
That's
it.
what you.
I
would
have
need.
I have a different spell that can do lightning damage.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I was checking on that one because that one's more to protect my tiny body. But it does do damage if I want it to. Okay, so I have Thunder Wave as well.
That also works.
Okay.
Thunder would act as air, thunder or lightning.
Okay.
Wow, I really don't have a single elemental spell prepared at all.
I'm now to a level where I have 1 of each.
Well, if we handle the possible 4 chains, and then your bard said that he's going to try dispel magic, we still have to have someone
Light and
break
dark.
it. What is light and dark?
I have
Radiance.
Yeah.
Necrotic.
Yeah, it's the 2 of you.
I think it's actually V.
I'm sorry, what?
You're a protector. You're a protector of the planes.
Yeah.
But
This
you're like
isn't
a
an-
paladin.
But this is an invasion from another plane.
Yeah, but you're like literally light.
She is too.
I mean, I guess technically,
And she's also a lot stronger than me, so...
I can smite things. I just never thought of myself as like a elemental power kind of person.
Well, I think this is more like
And then you
like
guys-
spiritual.
Yeah, spiritual is definitely more my thing.
Yeah. It's she
spiritually
is going to
light.
cast necrotic energy. You're going to use radiant energy.
You got that?
And you
Yeah.
all said that
Yeah.
you have something strong enough to break objects?
Well, we have
Harold?
weapons.
You have the sword?
I look. Is it a sword? I thought it was. It is a sword. I always thought of it as a maul.
No.
Nope, it's a sword.
Yeah, I've got it. I always thought it was a maul.
Don't one of y'all have a weapon that like becomes other weapons?
Yes, I do. But this weapon is specially designed to
This is
destroy
great
objects.
stuff.
Got it.
Well, hand me the sword.
Aww. I'm kidding. Here.
Oh, Petunia! Petunia should cast an element into it.
Are you able to
Can
cast?
you do elements?
Yes. I'm pretty sure. She can cast fireball.
She's disappearing right before.
No, that was
I did
Blaven.
not.
I can cast fireball. I do it all the time. It's my favorite
true.
spell.
I could provide holy, but I don't have dragon's breath prepared right now. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you want me to do the radiant and you smash it?
I can do either, I suppose. Did you want to smash it?
I don't care.
Make
We
it
just
more
need to
of
get
a-
it done, and I was trying to divide up so we can get it. Boom, boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom.
I mean, I can smite it.
Can I
can
play
smash
Kids
it. I
music
can
while we do
I can
this?
smite
Well,
while
you're going to-
smashing it.
All right, here, you smash it, and I hand you a sword.
I take the sword.
If your music is how you dispel its enchantments, then sure, I see no reason why. It's just-
Technically true.
Okay.
I'll do the radiant, you do the necrotic. After we do that, you smash it
Got it.
with that sword.
I will smash it specifically with this sword.
So I'm gonna. When
Petunia?
we're ready, I'm gonna cast Dispel Magic, and then quickly whip out my accordion and start playing. Because it definitely is not how I cast Dispel Magic.
Okay.
Love Harold.
All right.
You're like, you know what this epic moment needs?
Everybody knows accordions make things more tense.
Hell yeah.
Petunia, and I hand her 2 potions. Take these, and maybe get like 50 feet back, just in case there's an explosion.
You're
Okay.
right. I
She
should
starts
Get
walking
some
backwards
steps
and then
back.
thinks better of
Get-
it and then turns around and walks the rest of the way.
No, I'm just saying, if we all drop, get Venli and Karina up.
Okay.
And then Amiria speaks to Hellkite, and Hellkite will also go to wherever Petunia is.
Snuggle up behind the halfway.
Kind of like,
Oh, it's
Bird
like a
hides
chicken.
behind Petunia.
It's like a big chicken, and she's like nestled in its feathers, like a little chick peeking out.
No, the bird's hiding behind Petunia.
I don't think that's gonna work.
But
try to eat me.
so
They need a stealth check.
Harold's doing Dispel Magic,
Light.
Blight,
Smash.
Smash,
Thunderwave.
Thunderwave.
And I'll say now, Thunderwave, if it appears like hers aren't doing as much damage, I'll cast Thunderwave at a much higher level, but I'm not going to burn a high level if it appears like I don't need to.
Okay.
I'm also gonna move away from from Karina specifically because I've cast that spell and it hurts.
Arcana check.
Okay.
Lay on hands would be radiant, wouldn't it?
Nope. It's
Nope.
not radiant
Okay,
yet.
well then I will branding smite it.
Okay. What kind of damage does that do?
Radiant.
Okay.
16?
16. It looks like her magic should be enough.
Okay. Okay. So I'll cast it at a regular level.
Okay. And with her casting, I believe it's 3.
It's 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
Casting 3 of Nature's Wrath, she takes fire, ice, and
Acid, right? Poison? Where are you? Oh, it's up here. Fire, ice, poison.
yeah,
For her.
poison. And then you cast lightning, and with necrotic and radiant and dispel magic, you feel this pulse as
You're up.
I smash.
smash. Okay, roll to smash.
Okay, roll the smash. What am I rolling the smash?
D20.
It's an object, so it's an auto crit, isn't it?
If it hits.
If it hits.
Hits the crit.
I don't add anything.
It'll be your
Your
attack.
attack.
Your attack bonus.
Oh, well, I'm using a different weapon, though.
Strength modifier plus your proficiency bonus.
Okay, so...
Probably a
23.
plus 9.
23 hits and crits. And with that, there's an explosion of force as you watch this ring just shatter into 1,000 tiny pieces and shatter even more into nothing but mere dust. Amira breathes. Is it done? It's broken, right?
Yes.
25 on performance.
Killing it.
She's just like, I have no idea how bard magic works, but I'm so thankful for it. We've done it.
Vinley is kind of standing very sternly, and then when she hears Amiria say, "We've finally done it," her like shoulders roll forward and her arms reach out, and she just grabs Amiria and like visually like seeing this, probably it would look like Vinley is attacking her, but she's wrapping her into a hug, and she's so exhausted that she can't even cry. Her face is just blank.
And you, under your weight, Amiria also falls to her knees.
Who among us is capable of banish?
Petunia.
Me.
Are you
I
capable
use
of
it all the time. I love
are you,
it.
Are you capable of it right now?
Yep.
I have a weird theory. And mechanics question, if something belonging to me got banished, where would it go?
To a pocket.
It's wherever the
Like
banish, the caster has a pocket domain they send stuff to.
It's a library.
Oh, you mean after the spell completes fully?
Yeah.
Got it.
It would come back.
Where it would normally go back to their native plane.
If
I
it
understand.
belongs to me, would it poof.
Well,
I would
You-
say you don't know.
yeah, you don't
Like
know.
you wouldn't know
Okay.
because
Okay. Cause not trusting. I'm going to take a bottle out of my bag that belonged to me before coming here, and I'm going to scoop all the dirt and dust into that bottle of the shattered ring. Just, Petunia, could you banish that?
Sure. Didn't I banish you once before, though? Is that what you're trying to
I think it's the
experiment?
bottle.
The bottle.
The
Okay,
bottle.
yeah, sure.
By the way, somehow I screwed up my sheet when I was doing it. I lost all my performance stuff. I put it back on. That roll is actually a 33.
Oh,
Beautiful song.
Super elvish song.
A small tear forms.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stanley's
my
favorite
thought is
song.
to make sure that this is gone.
That's
yeah.
a good
She'll do her banishment on that. She'll take her book and just over it.
I
just
love-
slam shut. No bottle, in between it all.
I love that. Okay, bye.
Sister,
Bye.
we have to get back to the palace.
Yeah, he said that the spider in the council was.
And another bullet point on the list of things that I said is going to happen very quickly,
Oh God, what now? What have you done?
The Queen of Air and Darkness may be at the palace currently. Hypothetically and literally.
You made a deal with a fae?
I've made several.
You look like there's a extreme horror of like, oh fuck.
This one was just with a satyr though, so that's why Amiria, that's why I drank the holy water. The deal.
What?
Yeah, it was with the satyr. I wanted to spread the word that Lamoril was back so his mom would come home. Turns out she is.
Was it just a satyr?
Uh-oh.
What you made a deal with a trickster fae and it's forcing you to drink the
I don't know.
palace's water?
No, holy water. It just happened to be that you called me directly out into the garden sitting on a holy water fountain.
Blessed by the Seldarine, of course. What is
mean-
wrong with you?
You were
That's a
married
great
to a
question.
mushroom, man. We all make mistakes.
Look, we're
I
not
don't think we
pointing
have time
fingers.
to go down that.
I'm gonna move over to the side and sit down and clean my sword.
So wait, we don't know who the spider is.
I have suspicions.
I have a
Oh.
idea. Have you ever so Venli, you have like a theme, you know?
What is...
Like
I have a theme.
like death things. So like if you were walking through a market and like you saw something vaguely skull shaped, you'd be like, ooh.
I have done that before, actually. And a
always
vampire bought me something.
So
It's
so
very
like
nice.
if you were being called a spider and like a spider were to like just, you know, like how they are in a building,
I would be very intrigued.
if your nickname was a spider, you might like look.
Because it might be a messenger.
It might be a messenger, or you're just like, haha, that's me. You know,
I
like,
relate.
yeah, if we were, or if all of you were in front of that council of people and I were to skitter by, you could kind of see if anybody has a,
I can that makes
try that.
sense.
Yeah, you're real good at that.
I also just don't trust Lysanthier.
Oh, make sure that Lysanthia
His hair looks like spiderwebs.
What?
Yes.
No.
No.
It's gray and white. It's creepy.
No, it's pretty.
I thought you liked spiders.
It's like drow.
It's pretty.
It makes sense.
Bentley, would it be?
The only reason I'm worried and agreeing with you on one aspect is because he's
It does have
traveled a lot.
Yeah.
And
What were you saying,
that
Petunia?
I was about to say, would you think it would be wise or how unwise would it be to attempt to do detect thoughts while doing this investigation? I wouldn't have to prod very deep.
can you? Well, it depends on which part of the castle we're in, doesn't it?
Yeah, if we're in the the audience chamber, in the throne room,
You've lived there for how long?
there's a lot of things that have happened.
She's gone through a lot in the last
Thank
24
you.
hours.
You know what?
She
Thank
not.
you.
You're welcome.
Harold.
Yep.
While this conversation is going on, you're gaze begins to wander, because this really, you know, I mean, this happened, and you like fixate on a small little caterpillar, it just is like wiggling and kind of just inching
Been
its
there,
way.
buddy. Been there.
But as you looked at you and you say that,
Y'all did this
Something
to
good's
me.
about to happen.
that's amazing. It's true. You have been.
I know.
You see that it pulses, and you see small seismic sound waves that radiate off of it like heat waves. They slightly obscure the area around it.
Well, I haven't been there. You can cast a lot more than I could as a caterpillar. I'm gonna kneel down and get a closer look at it.
It seems kind of interested in you. It like kind of rears up, like, you know, inchworms do, kind of reaching out towards you.
I'll reach out. Like an idiot.
Yeah. And as you reach out and it like boops its nose to your finger, you feel the vibrations that feel like a bass line of a song that is extremely catchy.
Ooh.
And then all of a sudden, you don't see it anymore. Although you can still feel that bass line grooving through your body. And
Not too long after,
Harold's got the funk.
Harold comes back and your ear itches. And you're just scratching your ear as you unknowingly push an earworm deeper into your body. And with it, you hear the catchiest song you've ever heard stuck in your mind as a voice
Animorphs.
whispers. You're unsure if it is through the willow's wind or through whatever is in this song. As you hear Oscar say, "You are clever and a great trickster. Hopefully this song from my earworm will make you even more beguiling. Nurture it. Let it grow. You only need to think of this song when you pull a thread from the weave itself. And to those around you, it will be as if you casted nothing at all. This is Without Strings. A thank you from a friend for someone who saved his home." As you have gained your feet.
Nice.
That's cool.
Harold sees deeper into magic when he thinks about the earworm. It's almost as if he can see into the meta magics. And will just kind of nod a few times and be like, yeah, and I'm going to change my song to that beat that I hear from the earworm.
Oh, wow, that's catchy.
I know.
So annoying.
Yerks be wild.
Get your game on. Go play. One of the right.
This is what dreams are made of.
Okay, so here's my thought. With Amiria at our back, and we have a friend within the council, surprise Amiria, we have everything we need between all of us to kind of out this person.
Right.
I don't think it has to be as deep of a thought as we think. I think we can just
Roll up.
He thinks.
call someone out and have Seisha look around.
He thinks, because I sent him that letter, remember?
Right. Listen.
Yes, he thinks that we don't believe it's him.
Right.
Maybe we can use that to our advantage.
Still get to that meeting, not necessarily at the right time, but
Right.
be there.
Whatever it is, I think we should do it
Now. Yeah.
There is also one last little tidbit.
Oh, I hate when you take that voice.
And, Amiria, you've gone through a lot.
Oh no.
Do
Yeah.
we need earmuffs?
I don't think earmuffs are necessary. It's just you're going to have to be really cool with a lot of things very fast.
He's the one I got that from. Do you like it?
No, it follows a bunch of terrible, terrible things. I would like to be made aware of what those things are this time, please.
Totally. Just to be clear, unrelated to anything that's going to happen here. But I am friends with a lot. And I'm just gonna pull out my pendant.
Which one?
The
We
one
only was one now.
from the captain. For Luskin.
Oh, you pull out the hat little pendant.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say, technically, they might think of me as an ally.
Oh. Well, no, because that's very masculine symbol. But it could get
I'm
their
used to being
attention.
treated like a second-class citizen here.
Just leave it out. Leave it sitting out on your chest.
Because
No! There's a lot of other people that would not be cool with that.
Definitely do not do
Oh,
that.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely not. Amiria, I want you to be
tired.
clear. I'm not like
Wait,
into all
if
this.
that symbol is something
not many
that
people would know what that symbol is, presumably.
So if they recognize it.
except for Lysanthia.
But
Well-
so if
Wait.
if I do the sneaky spider thing, I can make myself look. However, and back home, our spiders had little stars on them. I make the symbol like on my back, on my what is it, a thorax? I don't know. I actually am really bad at animals.
Thorax is the middle section.
It's the
Yeah.
bottom.
Abdomen is the butt.
Whatever part they
That is
have
the bottom of the
patterns on.
middle.
If I'm not
The
only
abdomen.
a spider, but I got that little symbol on me, that's like a sign.
The difficulty for that one is that that symbol is specifically affiliated with someone who
Cephalothorax.
has broken away from Lulth's teachings.
Yeah, that's also true.
But the pendant, having that pendant, if we were to walk into the council room with that, whoever were to get upset,
You know, I just want to say, Amiria, that like I'm cool, man. I'm cool. I promise you, it's all cool.
You see
I
like
look-
pure panic on her face
Lie
as
down.
she went from a council member, high druid, everything was fine, and then when the last 24 hours, she is now having a conversation with her estranged sister about Drow and their friends making a presence in Luthelspar's palace.
Isn't it wild? And we're the only ones really equipped to
we're-
save the world. So
We're the competent ones.
Competent is a
Why
strong word.
don't-
We just are the people in the seat.
Wait, why don't we just come in and say we found this during our fight?
say we found it on
And
Electron.
I can.
This
Look
is
at people.
unnecessary. I will tell the truth about what Elytron was.
We're trying
I don't
to
think it's all
subtly-
necessary.
We're
think
trying to
that-
subtly read people's reactions to it and look for someone who is not horrified by it.
I don't think that necessarily we have to be subtle. If Amiria, an extremely respected, powerful member of the council, walks in and just blatantly says one of you is the bad guy, I think that would do a lot to make
Could
them
I-
jump.
Could I cast
You're all
Zone of
very
Truth?
insightful.
not in the
No, not in
audience
the-
chamber.
Well, do we have to meet in the audience chamber?
If you're going to gather all of the council members, that's probably where it's going to be.
Mm.
But, maybe
I
I can
want to
help.
reiterate that I'm extremely cool and not bad. I am just a unfortunate victim of circumstance a lot of the time. I just had a worm crawl in my ear. I don't think that's
What?
normal. Don't sweat it.
Do you need it removed?
We can do
No,
what we do
I actually
for
love-
Tommy.
You sure?
Okay, he
You
said
sure
Yeah, I'm
you
golden.
like it? Like you don't want that
Let's just go,
Let's just go.
infected?
please.
Let's just go.
Harold, just like not.
These
to
were the
examine?
people that defeated your ex. I just wanted to establish
We may
that.
or may not want to examine it for our sake and not yours.
Yeah.
No, I promise it's totally okay. It's from them. Everything's cool.
Oh, okay.
Still worried, but okay.
Yeah.
By the way, does the bottle
totally
come
not
back?
comfortable.
Yeah, that's a great question. Does the bottle return?
Competence and victims of circumstances are not the same.
I agree.
What happened to the bottle? Did it return?
It did.
It would have returned.
Yeah.
She's native to this plane now.
Am I though?
Or is there
There's
nothing to go back to?
Right.
Fair.
Return to sender.
Yeah.
Return to the void. It's just one bottle floating where a world used to
Like hit the elder eye in the eye. Oh!
You just well, shit.
Space. I'm in space.
Space
So,
Space Galaxy starts to arrive.
with what I just said,
Yes.
hopefully, they are one and one the same, and I'm sure whatever you plan to come up with will be good enough, and I'll try and back you as best I can.
Thank you.
And
With that, she'll touch the tree and open a doorway to not let you talk anymore, as she just literally points.
I grab the hole off the ground and
Yep, running straight through.
Yeah, we'll go.
No thought behind
you,
these eyes.
the more you speak, the more nightmare scenarios you create for her.
Yeah, so she's like, nope, we don't have time. 6 seconds, go.
We have that effect on people.
Yeah.
tumble through.
All right, everybody go through
Yeah.
the tree.
Yep.
Does everybody go through the tree hole?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I go through the
Yeah.
tree hole.
All right, so you walk through the tree and you end up within the city of Luthel-Spar, not in the forest how you got there.
Oh, this is much closer.
Oh no.
You are outside the palace. And you instantly recognize the temple you just wandered into as a shrine dedicated to Coralon. Your sister instantly grabs you.
And I'm already halfway there, like, ooh, that looks delicious.
Wait, what's the name?
Coralon.
Coralon, he's like
The,
Oh, okay.
the
Okay.
patriarch
Big
of
elf
the
elf.
Elven Seldarine. However,
My deaf ear's really acting up today.
it looks like you're late. And a battle has already happened.
Oh, God.
Small triage areas are set up as wounds are being tended to. Most horrifically, you see a druid and a priestess removing limbs and regenerating them. You notice that the few that are being treated in this manner, the removed limbs are being burned to ashes. Seisha, with your 27 freaking passive perception now,
yeah.
The limbs have bite and scratch marks on them, and signs of rotting infection and a fungal growth on them.
I tell everybody.
you see others being cleansed in the holy waters in a way that looks to be like dunked in baptism.
Does Venley go stick her head in one
Oh,
of the
I'm saying
Amiria. Amiria, as soon as they walked in, went straight to Vinley, now that you confessed as to why, and is keeping you from the waters.
I'm holding her hand, but my body is doing that thing a toddler does when they really want something, and it's just like their chest leaning towards it.
I will entangle you if I have to.
No, that'll cause a scene, and everyone's already losing.
It looks like we're a little late for the scene. But you see, after they are baptized in the waters, they emerge looking far more refreshed, healthy.
Is there someone who can tell us what happened? I direct that to Amiria.
Amirio,
And I say it in common.
You see her gaze doesn't quite pick up on what
as
you're saying.
she's looking, you see her kind of tilt her head and look around. And that's when you notice first, Seisha, and then the rest of you is you something out of your eye catches and you see pixies zipping by.
A blue streak.
You see this almost no one sees it except for you, this just quick blur that just moves out of the corner of your eye. And you look and it stops and you look and you see just this small creature that looks at you, winks, and then is gone in the blink of an eye, moving extremely fast.
Quickly?
Yes.
Got it.
It's the blue streak.
Oh dear.
And as you all look around, there
think they're
are
here?
What?
dozens of fey creatures.
You see
Maybe they're cool.
both light and dark fae.
Oh.
You know that
She's here.
they should not get along, but for some reason,
who
they are not openly attacking.
You
They're not
notice.
attacking.
You also
They're
see.
just
You may
running
have
about.
saved the day.
They're running about.
Okay.
Some elves appear to be enjoying their presence. Some not so much. Not hateful, but skeptical and very much this is a nuisance. But Amiria immediately just starts heading towards the palace.
I'm running with her.
Does everybody follow?
I'm gonna look around.
Okay,
Do I
we're not staying here.
No.
Okay. That
Where
changes
where
that.
is our boy, the head of the guard? I can't remember his name. I know it starts with
Valgar.
Valgar. Is
Valgar-
Valgar visible?
Not currently. You are outside of the palace, back in the city,
Yeah.
where
He's probably kicking ass inside. So all right, cool. Go in looking for him.
Names.
Are you guys following Amiria, who is
Yep.
beelining
Yeah.
it straight towards the massive tree barrier that leads into
Absolutely.
the palace?
I'm making sure to stay close to Ameria.
Got it.
I'm in the back watching.
And you notice that as you get closer and closer to the palace, the amount of Fae is doubling, tripling, quadrupling. Just they're everywhere.
Thaumaturgy. Move! I'm the one who invited you here. Get
Everybody move!
Speaking the truth as being the person that invited them, they definitely move out of your way. At least the lesser Fae. And when you walk in, you see that there's a myriad of Fae frolicking the palace gardens. And you see, again, that there are mingling light and dark Fae, typically completely separated, at least from the stories you've read or any interactions. The only time you've seen them interact like this was at the carnival, where there was like a mutual, like, treaty type. This is...
You mess around here, you're getting hurt.
Yeah, this is
kind of
neutral ground type situation. But it feels more political and petty in the defiance of one another. Still cordial enough to be openly polite, though.
Seeing who can be more polite to the other, like, oh, the unseelie would never be the first to crack.
Yeah. And you see a bunch of Eladrin kind of blending in and mingling with the elves. The only thing that stands out about them are their extremely bright colors and attunements to the elements, more so the seasons.
I was going to ask if they all seem to be embracing a specific season, or are they all different?
There's a myriad.
Okay.
Yeah, there's spring, summer, autumn, and winter.
Finley has a passing thought about how if an Eladrin and an elf have a kid, technically it's still a half elf. They just look like a regular elf, though.
That's going to keep me up tonight. Thank you for that.
In the chaos of commotion, all of you start to hear whispers about a battle of the fungal infected elves. The surprise battalion enforcements of fey creatures spoken by amongst the mithril knights, and the aftermath of those who were lost, including council members, and something known as the summer and the morning are here and have returned.
Okay.
You see, like, Amiria asking for reports, and from what you, like, who she meets, unsure of who was lost. It's just whispers at the moment. And she's just heading straight towards the audience chamber.
Yeah.
Following.
I don't think words need to be said by us right now.
Okay. And following Amiria, you see some of the Mithril Knights break off and start following with her. She lets them know that you all are with her. And
I smile at the guards, assuming that they're the ones who arrested me.
sure.
Yeah, just like remember when I was in a cell less than a day ago?
Yeah. And they kind of look at each other and then look back at you like, it must have been the High Druid. And you eventually get to the audience chamber, and it is filled to the brim with every important figure of Luthelspar and some from other cities of Evermeet. And it is filled with Fae, Archfey, elves, Eladrin, the Fayish creatures that seem to be familiars or pets. You see, like, Tressum floating about. You see all these weird goblinoid creatures, and some touched by the elements beyond Eladrin, and then some that are definitely, like, possibly manifestations of the weave that the Feywild creates itself.
Is them there?
That sentence just gave me hives.
You don't see them.
Okay.
Them there.
I mean, technically, I'm here, so they're beer as well.
That's them there, Faye.
They're Faye.
MR Snipes.
MR what?
MR Snipes.
And as you're going, you hear an amazing big band playing a song
Harold's better.
that sounds familiar for some reason.
Could be the song that Harold was just playing. And it's near the royal dais as there's a plethora of others dancing nearby in celebration. But you feel the room is somber. Miria looks confused.
And at the center dais, you see two breathtaking and striking women sitting in both of the head seats of power. Following Emiria, you make your way up to front and center behind the presence of Counselor Emiria, and you see a familiar face playing all of the instruments of an entire band. KP, would you please?
What?
Oh my
KP was literally in the chat! How is that possible?
Liar!
I know. Literally. Oh my god. I wish I could play with you guys instead of
KP!
Camera. How do they see me?
I never see you. It's amazing.
Oh my god, you've lied to me all week!
Yeah.
You sneaky.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
Sneaky.
man.
I love when you
He's
guys do
back.
that.
That's so cool.
I wasn't fooled.
Hello.
Oh my god.
I did tell you that I didn't believe you after the weekend.
Oh my god, and all that like, oh yeah, we'll probably go do some stuff while you guys shoot the show.
Maybe go like take care of some, do some axe throwing a little bit. I broke your guys' thing already.
Yeah. So while KP is getting set up, we will describe the two queens. On one of the thrones, a woman that first appears as a spring and summer eladrin of immense beauty with some unique and striking features. Her skin is the color of deep caramel honey and glitters like gold when she moves through light. A gradient of autumn-colored leaves cascade down her back and off her shoulders through kinked and curly hair that shimmers from dark auburn brown and fades to the light all through the colors into the light green at the tips. Her striking, wide-set pupil eyes glow with gold like the sun. Layered wafts of folds of iridescent sheer fabric wrap around her that make it look like the dress itself is made of pearl. And from her back are a set of 6 nearly invisible, sheer and iridescent insect-like fairy wings.
I'm in love with her.
That's not good.
The other
I don't care.
is a stark contrast, yet still striking in her own haunting way. A woman that appears to be an older elven female immortalized in her beauty. Her skin is pale, her hair dark, reminiscent of the moon elf she once was. Yet she glows like the glow and penumbra of the moon in an eerie way. Think the dark form of Galadriel from the movies. Her crown and armored dress are elegant with a high collar and form-fitting design that feels unnatural for true combat, yet easily moves with her form. At her back is a long train cape made of billowing fog, and as she moves, it is as if the tempest moves with her, causing wind to billow all around her, the air visibly cooler in her presence.
And as the song comes to a conclusion, and you see Shervy, and Shervy sees you all.
Shervy! Hi! What are you doing? I run forward and just hug tackle Shervy. What are you doing here?
There's just clang,
It's just all
Instruments and armor just colliding.
Oh my god. Are you guys real?
Yeah, what are you?
What are you doing
Yes,
here?
I hope. This place is so weird. Everything seems real at one moment and it just changes, and then they tell me I've been only here. Anyways, hi! Oh my goodness, hi!
Hi.
Hi!
Did you find your moms?
She's my magnificent.
This is
Call
Shervy.
Shervy.
Hi, I'm Karina.
And if you would please just give a quick description once again of what Shervy looks like for any new viewers and for Karina.
So
And Petunia, actually.
you see,
Doesn't matter.
you see a blue-skinned, quite diminutive, almost like 4'11",
Close in height.
femme-presenting, basically a changeling, but you may not recognize based off of her features currently. Last time you guys saw her, compared to what she used to look like currently, before she had this seafoam green hair, very almost very teal blue skin, and you see her wearing this beautiful, almost pastel colored bard-like robes, almost like the old school style, like a Renaissance fair style, like very poofy shoulders, poofy pants. But the thing that probably strikes you guys most from last time is instead of regular human-like ears, she's now sporting a very fey-like long ears that come out like this. Her features seem a little more accentuated to kind of match kind of the eccentricities that are happening around her, with her eyes a little bit more like bigger, a little slightly, almond-shaped, her face a little more elongated and kind of not stretched out, but like just as if a artist kind of took it and kind of add a little more lines and pulled on some of her lines a little bit.
Sharpened the cheekbones,
Sharpened her cheekbones.
but not in the sense of like just made them more prominent.
Yeah.
Literally sharpened them like Maleficent.
Yeah.
Karina very obviously blushing.
And but the biggest thing, especially after Sasha ran in and picked her up, is that you see multitude of instruments that were attached to her up till this point just start falling off. Clearly, someone, if anybody's ever seen one of those street side one-man bands, where she had like a drum on her back, she was holding on to like almost like a sitar and
Harmonica.
Not harmonica, kazoo, a kazoo
yeah.
in her lips, and then so all of that attached with instruments on her, wires and things on her. But clearly, all of that is in disarray right now. She goes, "Oh my god!" And then she finally gets around and gets one arm around you guys. It's been so long.
What happened? Did you find your mom's?
No, not yet. But it's a long story. But everything is fine.
And interrupting this conversation.
You see as the dark Fey Queen stands and speaks out, and her voice echoes, almost like natural thaumaturgy for everyone to hear.
It is good to be home once again. I seek those who have returned the prince to the Green Isle.
I have them, my queen. I'm Laru.
Speak not my name. You may call me the Morning Queen. Bring them forth, High Druid.
And you see Amiria give a graceful bow. It is evident, even for you, Vinley, of who this woman once was.
Oh, I remember who this
She looks
woman was.
different,
Yeah.
but
She looks more like me now.
Does she mean morning like in the sky or like the sad?
No, like the sad. This is the former queen.
once formerly known as the Sad Queen. But
Vibe.
Amiria goes up to the dais and stands about midway, does not make her on the same level as the two Fey Queens. People of Evermeet, Emerald of the Sea, the Green Isle, Blessed of the Seldarine, and the Kingdom of Luthelspar, hear my words as High Druid and Royal Counselor. I present to you the brow stars of Amanodel, protecting Arakor of the Tree of Souls, vanquishers of the scourge, Dero Kaimil Nimison. Behold our Hond Erbrath, Shah Kasir. They are blessed and friend to us, as much as the land and water are blessed and friend to us. And she gives you a bow.
I'll bow back.
Yeah.
And
then I'll step forward behind her and just kind of. Harold looks around. It's the first time he's felt like he can actually be himself, and like since he's gotten here, and he just kind of bows to the two queens and then goes, "Hello."
I want to look at the reactions of. I'm assuming the council is in here. What's left of them?
Okay. You look upon, and once everybody stands with her, or at least in the center where Sherby was, the entire crowd, including the Fae, bow, and they all utter the words, Shah Kassir. Amongst the council, you see one is missing.
Who?
Lysanthier. And eventually, as you all stand amongst the crowd, kind of feeling...
The Morning Queen looks to you.
I give the deepest bow Vinley has ever given in her entire life.
You are who brought him home.
I am. Not without the help of my friends, but I am also the one who broke the curse that was holding his mind hostage. My queen.
And you have my gratitude. For I thought him also gone and lost, much like all those.
It's truly an honor to be able to do anything of this level to help you, much less reunite two loved ones.
Is he in the room?
As you say that, something else you notice about this queen. She had just, when you speak to her, whenever you're around her, you are just overcome with somberness, with just deep feelings of sadness. It's not always like negative sadness. Sometimes it's the sadness that is accompanied with love. And sometimes you don't always get to be with those people, but those feelings never go away.
Karina feels no change.
And with that, coming up from the crowd, you see Prince Lomerwill brandishing a new scar recently healed. And at his side, as more heavily injured and healing, is the gruff and stoic Knight Commander Valagar at his side. You can't get rid of me so easily.
I give him a very big bow as well again.
You do not need to bow to me, Shah Kassir. Stand. I knew that they would all come around to see the heroes that you are. Not only elves, but all people. I congratulate you and humbly thank you for what I was unable to do. I hear whispers already.
It was, like I said, an honor to be able to do this for my people.
Perhaps after the ceremonies I can hear your tale of what I was missing.
You missed a lot, Valagar speaks up. Lysanthier was the hidden spider. Apparently infected with some necrotic fungus that caused his head to sprout bright orange tendrils from every orifice and even split open his head.
Gross.
He tried to spread a spore cloud in the audience chamber when I was pleading my case and investigation to the council, hoping to lure the culprit out to make a hastened move. It worked, and against my judgment, Lomerwill dove in to save the others.
I trusted you to protect me and the council. Sadly, some of the Mithril Knights had been infected as well. And for a second, it looked like Luthelspar was going to be overrun for the first time in history.
That is until an army of Fae came in, led by the former Evermethan Queen. How or why they showed up, we may never know. But I'd like to believe the Seldarine blessed us this day.
Their blessings come in
Mysterious ways.
mysterious ways.
That they do.
As do all God's blessings. I see you have a new friend.
Yes.
Yes. But you came in with the summer court, am I correct?
The summer court? What are you doing with the summer court? Come on.
No idea.
Am I wrong? Did you meet this?
Yes, I mean, I Queen Titinia was the one that brought me in. I was there during this battle that has happened. But I'm just honored to be here. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt your.
Oh no! You're a guest here. And leans in and whispers in your ear. He says, "Titania. If you were worried about misspeaking, just use Summer Queen."
Summer Queen.
Yep.
Yes. Oh,
He
I
says
remember
that kind of, looking at you like, "Don't fuck that up."
They are actually one of the greatest reasons why I could have brought you home in the first place. I was lost in a very perilous place, and if it were not for this person, I would have died there. We all would have.
It was a mutual thing. I was stuck there too, and you guys saved me. So, we helped each other. We're friends.
Well, any friend of theirs is a friend of mine. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Prince Lamruil.
Oh, Your Highness, hello. My name is Shurvi. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm not very familiar
The
with
pleasure is all mine, I assure you. But this is very... And before he says the word, looks to his mother. Goes, I think music is according to... this is a celebration, is it not?
It is. A
I
celebration
will look over
of
to
life.
Shirley and just kind of like...
Both start scrambling to pick up the instruments.
Like help you get your instruments back together and be like...
Thank you. Thank you.
Duet time?
Sorry?
Duet time?
Oh, it'd be my honor.
Be mine.
Do you have an... Wait, I don't know if they are looking for my music. Maybe they brought you in for this. I've been trying to play for them for a while. I hope they haven't really told me if it's good or not. I can't quite tell.
You're great. I can tell you from experience you're amazing. I know just the tune we should play.
Okay. Oh, fantastic. Yes.
And I will kind of hum it to you, and it's just the earworm. And then I will roll performance if you want to roll performance with me.
Oh, that's a new one.
I'm gonna just roll performance if you wanna. Let's do it. Huh? Okay.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
21.
Okay.
34.
Nice, of course.
Naturally.
He knows the song.
Yeah, you know.
So
Anything above 20 is still incredible.
Oh yeah, 100%. And it's just you.
That was with a 9 base roll, so.
Woof. Yeah. Bards, man, they're gonna bard.
Bards.
And you see with this like movement of music, the entire room just bursts into celebration and dancing once again. Some of it more formal, some of it more wild, and the time of the day is kind of yours, depending on what you so wish to do.
Finley is borderline staring at the morning. She's just like wherever she's standing, maybe even in the middle of the dance floor, she's just kind of standing there looking like she's running through something in her head multiple times while staring at this beautiful lady.
Seisha goes over to one of the walls and basically just sits in a chair and watches the fog rolling off the back of the Morning Queen and just cries.
Letting that emotion out, you see her eyes instantly fall tears. Just watching you, and you can see that there's a moment of recognition. Doesn't know exactly why, but recognizes the pain.
I think as Shirley plays with Harold, you notice that whatever that beat, that earworm that Harold has, as we're playing it, I'm assuming that the main effect that's happening at this court is the Morning Queen's, like.
So there's
feel-
both queens. There's the queen you came with, which
Yeah.
is
The
Tatar,
Summer Queen.
the summer queen, and there is the morning queen, which is
Winter Court.
yes,
The unsealed
Right.
queen.
Right.
or the gloaming, whichever name you want to give it. And you see upon the dais, there's I think it was like 13 or 15 chairs, but on the highest point there are two. And the two queens are currently sitting in those, watching everyone. And there is this wave of feelings that
Yeah.
whatever anybody is feeling is almost heightened. Whether it is feelings of sadness or feelings of joy or feelings of anything in between. The only thing that is not here is the void of emotion. Like everybody is feeling something.
So I think what Shuri would probably do, or end up doing, as she's being affected by these feelings, you also see her cry, but it's tears of both sadness and joy. There's a hint of a smile on her face as she's closing her eyes, and almost as if though, as I'm assuming that with Harold, as this music, like where he dips low, she goes high. Where he goes low, she goes. Where he goes low, she goes high. Where she goes low, he goes high. Kind of a situation, counterbalanced, almost like a sine wave sort of a situation. And it's almost as if though they're playing through these emotions and weaving sadness and joy, and kind of just symbolizing life in general of how all of that interplays into it, and kind of her having the opportunity to just reminisce of all the steps that she's gone through, and a lot of the joy coming from reminding herself of the joy of being with them the last few times and going through the adventures that she'd been through and the strength that they gave her to keep going forward.
I love that. I love that.
It's really
cool. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, let's take a moment to say what everybody's emotions are in this scene. We understand what yours are. What is Vinley feeling?
Lots of fear, but not rooted out of something that's going to kill her, but doing something risky. And a lot of uncertainty is kind of bubbling up inside of Vinley as like she's kind of approaching the dais further. But there's a lot of joy and exuberance. It's almost like the Seelie and the Unseelie just simply being here are causing these two forms of emotions to counteract each other and contradict each other, where she's feeling this great happiness of finally being free and having her sister back, but she's also incredibly sad, on the other hand, that she needs to leave as soon as possible, because if she doesn't, everyone's gonna die anyway.
What is V feeling?
I need a minute to come up with better words to express, if you don't mind skipping me and
No
coming back.
problem.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. Karina.
Karina has gone to sit cross-legged in front of Shirvi and Harold, and I guess the best way I can explain it, because Karina is always on with the BFG, so in this moment when everybody else is openly feeling, she actually lets go of the mask and is genuinely calm for the first time since she got here. Face completely blank, full dissociation, probably concerning for others, but it's just zen. Complete zen, because of the constant don't be sad in front of them, don't stress them out. Now it's just everybody's sad, it's fine.
Yeah.
And just enjoying the music. There's a couple of times that some fey creatures come up and ask if you want to dance, and
She'll dance with them.
okay, yeah,
Yeah, mostly just that like light swaying when you don't realize that you're into the music.
It's like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, just really enjoying the moment.
That's good. Seisha, I understand where you,
Profound grief.
yeah.
And there's also frustration and a I don't know if it's an emotion so much. Her eyes are kind of going back and forth as if she's turning pages in a book. And she is puzzling something out. for transparency, she's thinking about George and how to save him. She is basically thinking, okay, his undoing doesn't have to be his death. He's not doing this willingly.
Harold.
Excitement. Just happy. See Shervy, feeling great. Slight worry. Do I see my guard friends from the door?
Give me a perception check.
Sure.
They better be dancing together or I'll kill you both. Out of play.
It's an 11, so it's not great.
It's a pretty big crowd. But after some time, you don't necessarily see them. But in between the high notes where it starts to get somber, you do hear a familiar laugh.
Awesome. Okay, cool. I can hear both of them, maybe?
You just get one familiar laugh with an 11.
Okay, fair.
Just the one you play
Then,
tic-tac-toe
at
with.
some point between the songs, and also, there's a lot of excitement bubbling in him to tell Shervy about Petunia. And, like, this very intense, like, as soon as this song is over, I'm going to introduce Shervy to my girlfriend. That's happening. But I guess even in the middle of the song, the other thing I'm doing is I'm curiosity, looking over at Valagar to see if he is dancing or at all enjoying a 34 in performance.
Not dancing.
Even a toe tap is plenty for me.
You get a toe tap.
Toe taps, that's more than I ever expected. Awesome.
Yeah. But then
I'll ask him
immediately
later.
stops as soon as he notices he's doing it.
That constantly happens. It'll be either like
Yeah.
he's like tapping like with his finger, tapping with his toe, or a slight bob of the head. But as soon as he realizes that he's doing, back to stoic.
I have
Love
a
it.
perfect,
Awesome.
perfect
Okay.
Indian song.
That's me.
To show you.
And then Petunia.
Petunia, as soon as Harold started playing, she has not taken her eyes off of him. She's feeling complete love, infatuation. She's pretty much looking at him like he's the only thing in the room. And also a little bit of like that sort of, I wouldn't say insecurity, but that like those nerves, those shy things, because there's also because it's amplified. And so she's like doing her own thing. She's trying to hum the tune a little bit, and she can carry a tune, but she's like just sort of doing it to herself. Maybe louder than she thinks she is, but she's just no one else is here but him.
Yeah, and at one point you look over and like you see there is two satyr giving the exact same look to Harold that you're giving.
I'll say if Karina notices, she is gonna kind of like subconsciously sway like in time with Petunia. Just like
it.
now they got an audience. Now it's two people enjoying it.
Harold just like, yeah, and then he looks and sees the satyrs like, oh.
You're
okay.
so dreamy.
The temptation to make Valagar dance with me.
And you start to see like these. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Figured out what you wanted to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just needed like the words to describe what the emotions were, if that makes sense.
V feels intense jealousy and guilt. They are both tied to each other, and basically she feels it's an emotion she's been trying really hard to just like ignore and not think about, but she feels like before one thing that helped her feel connected in a unfortunate way to everybody in the group is that everybody had some sort of issue with like a supposedly evil family member, when in reality nobody has that except V. Literally nobody does, and she's incredibly jealous and feels incredibly guilty about that. She doesn't, and she hates that she feels that way. And that you know, she's really the only like person in this group who has to bear that burden of understanding that they have a close family member who is incapable of existing and loving them. And it's very hard for her to accept that. And it's something she's been struggling with since leaving Waterdeep, and especially now that everything's fine with Emiria, it's made it even more hard to bear.
Is she visibly crying?
A little bit. She's trying really hard to hold it back, but it's becoming overwhelming.
Sasha will walk over and just sit down next to her.
Karina is gonna come over and just kind of slowly, to give you time to stop her, loop her arm with yours. And just kind of lay your head on your shoulder. And just nod a bit. And just pat your arm and go, I would like us to talk sometime. I feel like we don't really get a chance to.
Okay. While the emotions are really intense and overwhelming, she's not sure if she feels ready to verbalize them just yet, because it's a very hard truth to accept, and it's hard to not want to resent everyone for their own happiness. But she feels like, and she also feels guilty because she does have a whole tribe of people and everything, and her ancestors and stuff, but like, it doesn't completely fill the void that she feels. So that's how Abby feels.
Oh, Karina understands.
Never say
her.
anything, just sits next to her.
Karina is she's still demasked, so she's worse at this than normal. But she's attempting to make clearly, what's the word for when you don't want someone to respond?
Rhetorical.
Rhetorical. She's making rhetorical small talk. Nothing.
That satyr just ate shit on the dance floor.
Yeah, she's like those moves are really weird. But I will say it's obvious in Karina's tone that she doesn't expect you to respond. She's attempting to, because you have been the strong one that's been unaffected by anything. It's striking Karina in this moment. So she's making herself a very tiny security blanket for you. Talking about anything other than what you could possibly be feeling in this moment, but making a note to herself to talk to you later.
Okay.
You're a weighted handkerchief.
I am. A weighted, just going like, what do you think the floors are made of? You know what? They're probably that moonstone. I really got to try and steal a piece of that before we leave.
But yeah, V looks, like visibly bothered, but is clear she's trying to contain it to anybody paying attention to her.
If there's any chance at all,
The hope of Shubi's performance today is, and maybe intentionally, unintentionally, perhaps affected by both queens being there at once, but the hope through this performance is not only reminisce about the sadness of life, but also the joys that brings, and elicit some sort of positivity. And perhaps not everybody might feel it, but it hopefully reminds people of the little light,
The silver linings.
the silver linings, the little flames that light the path along our way that may not always be as bright as we hoped, but it's still there. And as a reminder that those are not gone, they will always remain. And sometimes just remembering them and focusing and bringing your distance to them, even though they're small flames, as you reduce the distance and they encapsulate your vision, they are now the whole thing. And the darkness around you, even though they're tiny, seems less dark and less in your vision.
With that, then I will say for V, as you're stewing on these emotions, you are reminded that you saved your mother and your brother. They're not just ancestors or mountain kin. They are your direct family. And they too were beguiled and mistreated by a horrific man.
Amen.
But you still have them.
Yeah. It doesn't really change the guilt that she feels, though.
I'm not saying it should.
I am now kneeling before the Queen of Air and Darkness.
Okay.
Waiting for her to address me.
You may speak.
Thank you. I come to you privately and quietly.
You're in a room full of fae. There is nothing private about this conversation.
That's true.
Does it need to be?
No. Myself and the people who assisted me in bringing my king home have a trip to... She bows while also gesturing to both queens, to your neck of the woods, so to speak.
I tried to mute. I tried so hard to feel. I'm sorry.
A satyr just gets absolutely punted across the room as Titania's like, oh. We're heading out to the wilds to talk to someone and potentially get assistance in another matter. I come to ask for the boon of your aid returning, making sure that we don't show back up too late to fix.
Firstly, where are you going? And with this, you actually see Titania kind of not really paying attention to anything that's really going on because even though this is neutral ground and it's not really the Unseelie Court, it's still kind of a bit on the Morning Queen's turf since it's her own mortal realm, even though she's no longer mortal.
She was born here. She ruled here.
So it's not really paying attention. You see her like flirting occasionally. You actually see, much like you trying to get Valagar to dance, Titania is trying to get Valagar, like just like it's like, oh, that's the one. There's a rock. Nope.
Break him.
I'm gonna break
That's the
him.
stick in the mud.
I will challenge accepted.
That's the whole thing is making people dance in a courtroom.
It's gotta feel for her like when you go back to your parents' house after college, they converted your bedroom to a library, but like it's still your bedroom.
But yeah, we'll look up when asked, where are you going?
Hey, Petunia, it was Murdoch something, right? Murdoch?
Huh? Sorry, what?
Where is the place that this, grandmother, Grandma Nana?
Babiaga?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Oh, shit. I used to know this. Mergendrow?
Oh, it's so close. Merkendraw.
Then Vinley,
It's a regional accent.
to cover that little conversation up, she bows like she's trying to gather her thoughts, and then when she appears again,
Titania looks over and goes, that was a roller coaster of emotions.
Merkendra.
You see both of them look at each other and look back at you.
Enemy of my enemy, am I right?
The Feywild is dangerous for mortals. The Merkendral even more so. But if you are traveling to the wilds, you will be my guests. And typically you would be under my protection. But I will not be lording over my domains for the day. And the Merkendral is one place even I have little power over the entity that dwells within. So you will not be under the protections of mine, nor any similar ones you had from the carnival
looks a little bit past down to Shervy.
Of course.
Just you are acknowledged by the two fake queens as they're having a conversation with Vinley.
Do I, like, as I'm playing, do I feel their love?
Oh yeah.
And you see a lot, you feel
smiles.
like, I don't think Shirley is as aware that they're looking, but she feels a presence, and immediately there's like a, like you say, yeah, like a ding, like a off note, and she's like,
But beware, for even they have their own nefarious ends. No need to be too afraid of the wilds before the Mercandraw. Most of the creatures that dwell within here are on this island currently.
That actually makes things quite easy.
However, where you are going is far away. And for every day you sleep in the wilds, you will be susceptible to its distance for stability. You might find some changes in yourself if they overtake you. The longer you dwell within, the more it will change you. So it is best to get out as soon as possible.
Thank you. I had no idea. This warning will be heeded.
I can help with your return, as you helped my son. And we can consider that a debt paid in full.
We shall be even.
I have been in and out a few times myself, however this is the first since my ascension, and it's never the same. As surely as no mortal wades through the same river twice. Out there, the river may not even be the same by the time you step out. Dry as a beetle. It is not a physical place you cross, not even close. This, even with time, takes forever to comprehend, but never truly understand.
Thank you. I don't think we will be vacationing or lollygagging. As you said, most of the festivities are here anyway.
It will still take a day or two to reach.
That should be good.
Her swamp.
And I'm relaying the information I'm having.
But unknown how long it would take to get to where you need to be once inside its borders.
Okay. Is there anything you could suggest as far as enticement for the creature who lives there?
That is not something that I would even guess.
Good.
But I can tell you, it depends on what you ask in return, what you must give for it. But
That
if
makes
you
sense.
do make a deal, you will uphold it.
I always do. And she raises a glass of holy water.
Nice. Nice.
You hear a satyr goes,
Another question. Do Fey deals work like demonic deals? Does that satyr have a contract on him right now?
No.
Darn.
Billy turns and looks at him and is like, I'm 3 gallons deep.
I have to pee
We do
so
not,
bad.
to us, there is no contract, for spoken words are everything. Words are binding.
Then Vinley will bow deeply and say, I will protect your son to the best of my abilities. After she said, words are binding.
When you are in town.
To the best of my abilities. I can't teleport that far.
He will not be joining you.
Oh, he's staying right here. Your Majesty, he's staying right here. He's not going anywhere. I absolutely do not plan on taking him over there. If he wishes to go there, that's his prerogative, but I will protect him in that case as well. I really thoroughly enjoy your son. Not just as a king. As a
Phrasing!
I wasn't gonna say it.
You see Titania kind of like wiggle in her seat, like, "Oh, this is getting nice."
I like
You
Titania.
see two shadow entities going at Titania like, no.
Ew.
He has spoken highly of you as well, Valenthriel.
To be fair, that's not really my name anymore. But if you wish to call me that, I won't correct you.
Really, because you just did.
But I didn't tell you the correct answer. I just said it was wrong. She starts bowing and walking away. She said, "Thank you so much. This is such a great honor. I love you so much. Goodbye."
You can see like Titania just pulling
Yeah,
essence out of
and you see, yeah, you
The
see,
anxiety
like,
is delicious.
you see Amlaril just looking, like side-eyeing Titania. This was your doing, wasn't it?
Oh, it's delicious.
And Vinley is like bowing as she exits that audience chamber.
I love this so much.
Mortal emotions, you just can't get them anywhere else. Thank you for inviting me.
That was me.
Blank slate, like.
Vinley passingly is like, "No, that was still me. It was still me."
Still tasty though.
They didn't make me do that.
I will say, throughout some more. Okay, yes, yeah.
I actually want to go over to Petunia.
Okay.
Petunia, you can cast legend lore. Can
Kind of
you?
like, huh? Oh, yeah, I can.
Can you cast it on George's armor?
I imagine so. Does it have a specific name?
I don't know,
George's armor.
but you've seen it.
I have seen it. Let me see. Let me look at the specification. Let me think about the specification of my notes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was a little distracted.
His armor is called George Forswarmer.
I was
you hit him.
thinking it and I was
Hit
like,
him.
I can't say it. I can't say it.
No.
Just makes him George Forswole.
I was trying to figure out how to make that work too.
Yeah, person, place, or object. Name or describe, so I can describe it. So, yeah.
I'd like to know the story behind his armor. I think it has to do with his party.
I know what they're writing on our break.
Yep.
So there's that, which we can get to, and throughout the day, there's a couple of the things that you're not just beholden to whatever the celebration is in this audience chamber or anything like that.
Oh yeah.
Anything that you may want or need is offered or asked of if you would want or need of anything.
I would like to
Not
go
very.
sit with a Pegasus.
Granted.
Would it,
That's it.
the want or need is that I can request an item and it's brought to me, or I can go to a shop.
Probably the first one.
Okay. I'm gonna. Who offered to get things for us?
It could either be Amiria or another council member.
Make her do it.
Okay. Yeah, Amiria.
Amiria comes up to each one of you and says, the council would like to offer you something as a thank you for saving us.
Okay, so hold on. Druid to
Saving
druid.
the tree.
Druid to druid. You know that we are very squishy, right?
Yes, anytime I feel threatened by being downed easily, I typically turn into an element.
Oh, I should really do that. That's a good idea. I'm going to use that. Anyway, all of them have really cool armor, and I just kind of came here with my clothes. They don't go shopping, like, at all. They're just rich. It's weird. Could you...
Smash cut to episodes and episodes and episodes before you join.
Yep. Karina's coming in when her friends already have like a yacht. And she's like, what? But do you know of somewhere or
I know
someone?
plenty. What kind of armor do you wish?
Oh gosh. Something that's just a little more sturdy. I don't know what kinds you make here. I'll be honest.
Tell me what your needs and I got you.
On like a scale of 1 to 20, I would like to be at least about a 17.
If you had to put an arbitrary number on it.
If I had to put a number on it.
Very oddly specific, but I will design
I'm good
something.
with numbers.
I will have something made for you by the end of the day.
Oh, that's really fast. I wasn't intending on that. Thank you. And you know, I want to apologize.
No need.
No, I had a lot of plans for things I was going to do to you, so I just wanted to apologize for that, even though you didn't know I was going to do that, and now I've said it, and I've made it real weird. The vibe in here is odd.
Yeah, it's a very, like
but-
juxtapose all at the same time. I just feel the dichotomy.
No, I'm just really calm, and it's making a lot come out that shouldn't.
Confusion just washes over her face.
But, no, just, I wanted to apologize, because, you know, it wasn't your fault, but it kind of was your fault, and, maybe just,
Ouch.
You know.
I was controlled. You can see she's just blurting out words as well.
You still did it. You're still responsible for your actions, whether you intended them or not. It's impact over intent, girly.
You know, you're right.
But what
because...
I'm trying to say, because I'm awful at this, and she's going to pull out a piece of her marble, just a small like little tile. She's gonna go, this is from a world that no longer exists, and druid to druid, I think you can imagine the pain of the beauty that can exist in a world that doesn't exist. So maybe this can remind you why we're fighting to save this one.
Thank you. And thank you for aiding me in the ritual. I will never forget that.
When you hold that tile, think of your strength in that moment, and I hope it does you well.
I'll need it in the times to come. But I should get to your armor.
Oh, yes, thank you.
And she'll just kind of druid craft like a whip that is made of vines and then do some quick measurements with you.
I'm going to druid craft her just like a little bouquet of flowers.
I don't know these.
No, they're from my world.
They're exquisite.
Thank you.
And she'll go off and take Vinley off to speaks with Vinley, and they go off somewhere as well. Is there anything of need or want anybody else has?
I'll check to make sure that both of my guard friends are alive.
They are.
And you see that Timanthiel, you learn his name is Timanthiel Jonaskir, or Tom Jones to his friends. And you see that he is dancing with a, forget the color of her hair, but
Auburn.
It was Auburn.
Yeah, the
Auburn.
Auburn.
Well, no, it was burgundy. Was how it was phrased. Burgundy.
That was it.
But the striking
he got his lady.
femme figure, they are dancing.
Yeah. And he sees you, and he just behind the back, like dancing.
Yeah, 100% just nods of approval. I will ask whoever I can. I'll just ask whoever looks like they know what I'd be talking about. It's like, I used to have this fancy makeup in this box. I didn't know if you guys had extra. I really only need the Fey kind. I'm talking about the morbid makeup. It's great if you have all three, but if you don't, I could really use the Fey kind in the next day.
Okay, Petunia, do you have any requests?
Yeah, she will sort of she kind of thinks about it for a second. She goes, well, you have really talented metalsmiths here, right?
Yes.
and she kind of like looks around and like then like leans a little closer, and I'm gonna send something to Dustin.
Okay, cool.
He's asking for it.
And then V.
12 babies.
Gosh. I don't know.
It's fine.
It's all good.
You can take the time to think about it.
Yeah.
Hey, V. You want to come for a walk with me? No talking. I just want to introduce you to someone.
Sure. And V gets up and follows you.
And I know where you're going.
Yep.
And as you all go off into your own myriad of things, you are not approached, as Amiria did not see you at the Tree of Souls. However, you are approached by Titania. Eventually, and before we get to that conversation, and before we get to everybody else's things, that's where we're going to take a break.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say you're also gonna get approached by Karina to dance.
Oh yeah, yes, you can dance if you so wish. And you leave your
if you want to.
yeah, leave your friends behind.
Short, pretty ladies are my weakness.
And she is a big, beautiful ball of cotton candy. Enter hashtag Eldritch if you have not done so already.
And we'll be back shortly. Hey. And we're back.
Oh!
The party destroyed the ring of Illatron / Kymel Nimison that was a phylactery, and then after completely causing Amiria to go into a panic attack of all of the different wild suggestions.
We
Amiria
opened
got
the
to
door
read-
to our life for
Yeah.
one
She got to
second.
meet the real us.
Yeah,
We
was
are the
basically,
Elder Eye.
we don't have time for all of this. Please, just I hope you make good decisions. Go to the palace. You find that there has already been an attack, but thanks to some random fae showing up for no reason whatsoever.
It was a blessing.
Crazy,
Luthelspar and the palace was mostly saved. 90 to 95%.
That's 100% safe.
Saved more.
Yeah,
It's pretty round up.
Yeah, they round up.
Saved more than we could have probably if we were here.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's a lot quicker fight.
Wow.
But
Sorry, that was probably really loud.
after a celebration and meeting both the Summer Queen and the Queen of Morning, spelled M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G.
Important distinction.
Yes.
I feel like the emphasis should have been on the U, but continue.
The group saw Shervy, an old friend that they met in Limbo, which was a great fun time. We all remember it. Everybody loves those memories.
No one's traumatized.
Definitely not Shervy.
But following leads of her own has somehow led her here, meeting the BFGs once again, as they are on celebration, whether it be in happiness or contemplative and sadness, as the emotions are intense in this room currently. They are all approached eventually by a council member or a Miria or even the Summer Queen herself.
Oh my god.
And you all disband amongst the palace, with V following Seisha to go meet Karanor and his Pegasus Archelix.
Well, let's be honest. It's Archelix.
And it's
And
Ryder
him.
Carter.
And that guy. That guy.
So, yeah.
Speaking with some of the Mithril Knights and things of that nature, or even speaking to Valagar, you are able to have the Pegasus and its rider summoned into the gardens. Is there anything that you would like to do?
I wanted to introduce you to Archelix.
Oh.
See this resplendent
Hi.
Pegasus. Just going to trot up to you.
Hello. She's unsure if Pegasus can like talk or understand
Seisha
people.
just kind of nods.
Okay. Nice to meet you. What was his name again?
Archelix.
Archelix.
Karanor speaks up. It's Archelix.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. We understand that Elven is not really your tongue.
Well, Okay, fine. I'll accept that. Archeolix.
It like bows its head to you.
I figured you might just want to get out of the room for a little while.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I figured that maybe... And she closes her eyes. And, what did we name her? Used to be Bernie. Misty. Misty shows up. And, she looks at V. I thought maybe you'd like to go for a ride for a little while on Misty.
Oh. Is Misty okay with that?
Mm-hmm. Misty likes you.
Can Misty hit?
Yep.
Okay.
If
Misty can hold you and give you a little bit of privacy.
Okay. Sure. And V mounts Misty?
Okay. And if you like horses, I know exactly where we should go. Follow me, if you will.
Oh, I dismount Misty?
No.
Oh, no, I stay on Misty. I'm like, am I supposed to follow on the horse? V is not familiar with horse riding, by the way.
You've ridden before, though.
Yeah,
You've
but
ridden it
like,
before.
not like commonly, like, I ride
Yeah.
horses all the time thing.
Yeah. And you actually are taking through the streets of Luthelspar, and you cross over the river. Forget the name. But you cross over the river, and on the far side there is this grassy plains, like knoll area, this field of flowers that all have like the autumn colors currently. And there is a herd of these gorgeous, seemingly regular horses. And Karanor doesn't let you get close to them. These are more like wild horses, although he does tell you that some have been tamed. Much like Pegasi, these horses choose their riders, and they're known as moon horses. And they are said to also understand communication as much as a Pegasus does, but is rumored. And when he says rumors, you, even with your lesser insight, pick up that he's only saying it for formalities and is actually telling the truth. That they can cast spells. And it's one of the reasons why he's like, we're going to stay back. But you just enjoy this afternoon of watching this herd of horses. And
Horse Lips would be proud.
Horse Lips would be proud. The god.
Sorry.
But if there's any questions or any conversations you'd like to have with Karanor, or if you just like to let your mind go blank and enjoy things.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think that's what we would prefer to do.
Yeah, he does not force conversation. He'll tell you a little bit as, you know, how you learn this, but he doesn't expect you to speak back. And he enjoys speaking about these creatures. One, it's his homeland, but two, just enjoys creatures. One of the reasons he became a Pegasus rider.
Do horses have a somatic and a verbal component at the same time when they go?
Well, that's the somatic. There's also, or that's the verbal. The somatic is the swish of the tail.
Oh. And the ears.
The ear flick, yeah. Nostril flares.
Yeah.
The lips.
But yeah, so you can enjoy any of that, and there is some thank yous for everything your group has done so far, and some apologies for the nastiness, but
Oh, maybe we learned from this. This is what we call a teachable moment.
He does try and pad it with the whole like, but we've had a history of outsiders trying to destroy us, so
Maybe if you were
Anyone who says
nicer.
anything like, shows reservation. No commenting on it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that kind of goes for everyone at some point. You are apologized to, but they also do kind of pat it with the whole but healthy reason as to why we treat people this way, and that is every single outsider besides literally a handful of some names you would recognize. It's always been to attack or overthrow or cause harm to them.
I think whenever someone tries to apologize to Vinley, she just is like, and keeps walking. It's just like keeps flicking her eyes at them, like, no, I don't like you.
But with that, eventually, later in the day, you are brought your new specialized armor. And it is built exactly to your specs. It fits perfectly, and it moves just like the other mithril knights, although it is not made of mithril entirely.
Same craftsmanship.
You can see that however you would like this made, whether it be from wood or bone or special hardened leaves or something that just speaks to you druidically. It could even be stone. It is interwoven with the mithril, weaving it together, or inlaid, as in elven arcane.
I want some of that moonstone.
You want some of the moonstone?
I want some of that moonstone.
Okay.
I like rocks.
I like rocks. Okay, sure. Let's say the entire thing is scaled moonstone.
Ooh.
Wow.
Fuck yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Says the person who's bringing the armor. Yeah, of course, no problem. My
Karina
Highness.
just looks at it and goes, oh, fuck yeah. Thank you.
You like it. It
Yes.
fits great.
Oh, fantastic.
And the weight is distributed evenly,
Yeah.
correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing pinches?
No.
You're goddamn
Unless
right.
you want me to.
Goddamn right.
Bring me his name.
That's all the boys want to say.
And then Petunia, what you asked for is given to you.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yep.
Ooh.
Secrets.
12 babies.
And then I can't remember, Harold. What were you going off to do?
I was asking if they could refill my morbid makeup.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Absolutely. You get all three.
How romantic.
Nice. Yeah, right.
So Petunia's doing this big secret romance thing, and Harold's like, Faye makeup.
I'm gonna be
Sex stuff.
pretty.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta look your best for whatever you're doing.
And then Vinley, you go off with Amiria, and the first place she takes you is the palace library.
Shut up. As we're walking down the hallway, Vinley realizes where they're going. She's like, shut up, Amiria.
Look, obviously I can't teach you any of my magics, but I'm sure there's something here that can aid you.
She gives her another big hug.
It's that awkward at first, and then she's like, I don't know how much time you have, but...
Of course. What are you going to stay with me?
I have other things to tend to. I'm making some personal things for your friends.
Perfect. Before you go, where would the temple section be? I don't know if...
For books?
No.
Oh, it's outside the palace. You saw all the temples. There's
And thinking back, did I see a particular temple?
Oh,
represented?
100%.
Cool.
There's Coralon.
Oh, and then
there's
the
that
aspects.
one, and
Okay.
then there's another one that is basically all of the Selduring.
Word.
You said you wanted to mention something about when you were leaving
Yes.
the room.
Anyone with a exceptionally high passive perception
so, Seisha.
I
got a 19.
Yeah, that's good.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
Damn.
But it's not a 34.
Look, I'm very niche.
Throughout the day, you'll probably haven't noticed it at first because it's not something you look for. But as Vinley is like kind of anxiously making her way away from the Unseelie Queen out of the room when she left, you notice that the only necklaces that are on her are the gray, the Force Gray, and the Amulet of Health, and she wears no rings on her fingers anymore. As she's quickly shuffling away.
Got it.
Yeah, we wouldn't have noticed when that stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yes, I will make my way into the library and start digging around.
Okay, yeah. And you gave us a list of spells that you so wish. You can choose 3.
I did. Would you like to know them?
Yes, please.
First, we have Polymorph. It's a classic.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And it fits the themes, I think. The next, we have Hold Monster.
Yes.
And then finally, the last one she finds deep, I think, tucked back, like it's fallen down, and it's just like kind of on a scrap that's fallen out of a book, is Wall of Force.
Nice.
Okay.
Fuck
Bunch
yeah.
of high-level spells.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, if you're in the Palace Library, you better pick the best things that you can do. And I will quickly head my way back out.
And then at some point, in between the sets of music, the Queen of Summer approaches you. And you can see she stands much taller, and then shortens herself just a little bit, still taller than you. But doesn't make it so like you have to crane your neck.
Like me.
Imagine her doing that whole like hands on the knees, like hello.
Like Galadriel does with the hobbits.
And I would say it's like as she's descending the stairs of this dais, it's like she started real tall, and as she goes down.
Man, the perspective of that must be
Yeah,
with
it
everybody's
looks
heads there.
So it doesn't actively look like she just comes up and then goes whoop. It's just a perspective. Yep, of this. It does make people go, huh? Those that aren't used to
The ones from the side are like, oh my god.
Shervy, it has been a pleasure listening to you play.
Oh, thank you, my queen. I hope it worked well for you. I could also try some other things. I hope if it wasn't to your liking, I tried to mix up both you and the Morning Queen as well. I feel.
No, you did great. You did great. This is her home. It is very lovely.
I figured that you wanted to be as best represented, and what better way than also acknowledging your fellow peers as well. Sorry if I stepped over bounds.
You are true and correct. It is. We must show them the most respect for inviting us to their home.
And this is mostly my first time being in an actual court like this. Things like this was more my mother's. That's their sort of field. But they always told me that the best thing to do is make sure to have everybody have fun, and that was the goal.
Everyone having fun is delightful. But yes, you mentioned when you first came to me that you wanted to ask me something. I asked that you entertain me, and if I were thoroughly entertained, then I would hear your question.
Yes.
I am adequately entertained.
If there's anything lacking, I can do more. I promise. But
I want to first hear your question.
Of course. Well, if you would be so kind and magnanimous, I'm actually on a journey. I've been on one for quite some time.
Yeah, you're
now.
not from here.
No.
Neither is that dwarf.
Does she look?
If Karina's still there, then Titania will definitely, her eyes pass over to Karina.
Oh, fascinating. But yes, I actually was sent here by someone, perhaps you know of them. someone named Miss Elevik Tumblestrom.
Ah, yes, I know Ellie very, very well. The best bard in the entire multiverse.
Absolutely. I had so much to learn. But
A half elf in the background being held back by a halfling.
Rumor has it, though, she got it on a wish and not of talent alone.
oh, well, I guess ultimately it's perhaps not the path that we took, but what we do at the end of it, correct? Who are we to judge talent, or what is the right approach?
You are very wise.
Oh, these are just things my mothers have told me. I myself have not had the thoughts yet, but I do my best. But she has sent me here. Perhaps you can help me in that. She said that as I said, I'm actually in search for my mothers. They've been, for a long time now, lost to me. I'm happy to say that at least I know that they're out there, that they're safe and well. Unfortunately, we still have not had the opportunity to meet, and I still don't know where they are in this grand multiverse that we have on all the planes.
I want all of this sadness to end. I want you to find your mothers.
Oh, that would be wonderful. But they told me that the only other multiplanar traveler is someone here in the wilds. Someone who has a plane of desire.
Oh, there are many demiplanes of desire and delirium and and delight.
Yes. And
but
so
there's only two multiversal creatures that I know of, and I know many things.
Yes, yes.
One being our mutual friend, Eliwick.
Mm-hmm.
The other...
Oh.
Grandmother Winter.
Grandmother? Oh, she sounds lovely.
There's
Damn.
just this shock wave.
And yeah, you just hear like echoes of laughter and laughter. Yeah. Like
everybody to make me wisdom saving.
Everybody?
In the ballroom.
Oh. Wisdom saving. Where's my savings? Nani? Oh, there it is. Wisdom. That is a 2.
And you just burst out into laughter.
Yep.
And this, like levity, even though it is slightly forced amongst the room.
Queen never laughs alone.
Yeah. Brings joy, and you can feel just kind of like, yes. It seems that you and your friends are star-crossed once again.
Oh. Are they now?
Yes, the Dark One, who held such reverence for my counterpart, was speaking of going into the Merkin Draw, and I'm sad to say that is where you must go as well.
Oh. Well, I guess then, if you don't mind me asking, if I can ask 2 requests then.
What do I get in return?
I'd be honored to play another song for you. One that is to your liking, or to something that is your request. I have nothing more than my own songs to offer.
Play me a song that is... looks to you. What song that inspires an emotion in you would you like to give me?
Happy Williams.
Oh dear.
Somebody once told me.
You don't have the rights.
I'm not one that is so smart as yourself. Could I ask you to clarify what it is you're asking?
A song that is tied heavily to an emotion that will speak to me for as long as you want my blessing.
Oh, okay.
And it will speak to me only.
Speak to you. Okay.
And you can make an insight check or maybe a base wisdom check.
Okay, my insight. ¿Dónde estás? There it is. I'll do the... Oh, not an intimidation. That's not the one I wanted. There. Oh, that's only a +1. And you said either a base wisdom or an insight?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do... that's a 3.
Cool. 3. Yeah.
But you see Shurvi, though, as someone who is more of an instinctual player. I think she just imagines and pictures the Summer Queen. And in the time that she's been here and been under her care and been in this fake court, she pictures what she feels is her interpretation of this person in front of her.
What emotion is that for you?
I feel, to her, it is a joy that isn't quite fully joy, of something that comes from almost like at times a force, like just similar to that laughter that she had evoked just now, that there is genuine happiness there, but a lot of the times it is also feels to her performative, that for her title she has to now almost instinctually be that way, and someone who's shackled by it more than thrilled by it. Like, it is shackled by her nature, right? That she has to be this beautiful, this wonderful, this joyous person that brings light to everybody. But to her, that almost actually feels a little sad.
Having to stand in the sun but never bask.
Yeah. Not knowing because to her, you need both. To enjoy the light, you need to be able to be under the shade. To appreciate the shade, you also need to have the light. And to her, someone who's constantly only under one and never experiencing the other doesn't feel like someone who fully appreciates or knows what they have.
Okay. And she goes, Okay.
And she doesn't say this out loud. I think what she ends up doing is just starts... She thinks for a while, and then grabs her equipment, turns around, and then it's a very slow beat that she starts, and then starts playing a tune that is, to her, very melodious, but there are notes of sadness underneath, like occasionally, that kind of cuts through, and then feeds back, like kind of like as if though you see a calm pond or a calm lake, but then occasionally a little ripple happening underneath.
Like a melodic blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, just like that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
She will take this in.
Would you like me to roll performance?
Yes, go ahead and roll
please.
performance.
Okay. That's all I got to give you, so... wow, I suck today. That is a total of 10.
10.
Wait, do you want one of my portents?
No, wait, was that a natural 1?
No, it was a 5 plus 15. Oh wait, no. What was I rolled? 10. So how the hell
Plus
did I?
15? That's
No, that was it.
25.
Oh, I rolled a 25. The number didn't show up for me.
I was about to
That was
say.
a 10 on the dice. Plus
Got it.
15
Got it.
is a 25. I sat there going, something
I
went
was
wrong
like,
here.
how is that physically possible?
Everything sucks today.
Okay. She takes this in and enjoys this, like, joyous but somber song. And what you give up is the ability to see or feel that need to have the balance between both in a situation. So this isn't forever. As she said, for as long as you want her blessing is how long you're going to give that up.
Okay.
And what it is you don't negate that. It's just whenever you feel a feeling now, you'll feel that one. You won't be able to, like...
It's not as nuanced as it
Yes.
was.
It's a light switch.
Yeah,
Polarizing.
As she asked, like, which one are you giving me? But from that, she lets you... She goes, ask me your question.
I suppose my request was simply to know this path to take to this person, and perhaps your wisdom and guidance on how to best get there, and how to your counsel.
How long would you like me to enjoy this song?
Oh, I mean, I think for me as
Before you answer that,
yes,
I am not cruel.
of course, I never would have assumed so.
Do you feel something different in you?
Well, I feel like the waves in me have started to rumble and roil more, as if though there are higher peaks and lower lows.
That is true. You have shown me what it is to see both sides. For as long as I know that feeling, you will know what you have in you currently. But it comes with my blessing, which is me giving that freely as you have given this emotion freely. So how long would you like to give me this feeling?
Until perhaps I suppose now my friends can come back safe and sound.
Okay. You have my blessing until that is done. And mechanically, once a day, you have a boon. What does that mean? That is for you to decide.
Oh, what? Oh, okay.
Anything short of a wish, it is not an instant win. It could be an advantage on a roll. It could be a re-roll. It could be just, we need this right now. Once a day.
It could be a sandwich.
Could be.
The
Legitimately.
most delicious sandwich in all the Feywilds.
It is-
Best cucumber sandwich ever.
And it is not something that instantly solves your problem. It helps you solve your problem. Like if you somehow got lost in the Feywild, it wouldn't be like, here is the way. It would be, you can either re-roll to find your way, or have someone show up to help you find a way, or something like that.
Not a MacGuffin.
It's not an instant fix or an instant answer.
Yes.
It is a boon. But once a day, as the sun
Not a
rises.
Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah.
Look at me,
Or a
smart.
Vox even.
Oh. Oh.
Man. But yeah, so you have that blessing.
Okay.
It is
Okay,
the
cool.
summer's blessing.
Okay.
But I thank you for the song. I will enjoy it until you have your answers.
I'm glad I could give you something as well that you enjoy. Thank
I
you.
enjoyed very much. I want everyone to dance. And everybody make wisdom saving throws.
Can I choose to fail?
Of course.
Yeah, I want to dance.
Oh.
I'm gonna make my way towards Valagar to do that.
Yeah.
I'm just dancing towards
I'm
Valagar.
gonna
Oh god. Do the lasso.
Yeah. I love that.
I need to make a wisdom save for him.
Fail. Use your boon.
Not because of that, but because of that.
Do the lawnmower.
What'd you get, Harold? Harold, what'd you get?
A 5.
Great. Petunia, what'd you get?
I wanted to say that because she's so distracted watching Harold, she fails.
Awesome.
Harold will
Love it.
dance with Petunia.
Petunia's like, Harold, why are you whoop?
I feel like she made that noise out loud too.
Yeah.
Whoop.
Ooh. There's a possibility.
I got an 11.
Okay, you're dancing.
Okay.
Everyone get the artist's
Good?
sin.
Is Valagar dancing?
No.
No.
He got a 27 on his wisdom save.
Damn.
You see,
trying to
you
do
I feel like
see.
I'm doing that thing that kids
your
do.
role.
Where I'm doing that thing kids do where they
Save
pick
it.
up the
Save
hammer.
it.
I know.
Do it. Do it.
Oh my god, do it, please. Make
Please
Valagar
do it.
dance with me.
We may need it, guys.
Oh,
Let's hold on to that.
You gonna partner it?
Tempting as it is, as incredibly tempting as it is.
Way to be the voice of reason.
Alright, I guess.
I
Wait,
know.
what do I have?
What's your woe?
I can. I can.
Ah, remove 2.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, it is Queen Titania.
Yeah.
Tanya, I have another wish.
But if there's nothing else that needs to be done, you can either rest or you can go on your merry way.
I have one more thing to do.
Okay.
Before we leave Evermeet for the Feywild, I think Vinley makes her way out of the palace. Not like intentionally not telling anyone where she's going, just simply not thinking about it. And she makes her way to the Temple District and kind of just stands.
Can you make a stealth check?
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you are outside.
Yeah.
Oh, you're lucky I have disadvantage because I put my armor back on.
Natural
And
20.
I have advantage.
That's a bum.
24.
I have always been a scholar. 8.
So I did it to Voss once, and I feel like it's only fair to do it to Venley,
Work.
and I'm going to follow at a distance.
Okay. That means you have to make
I
a
take
stealth.
my armor off.
Okay, you can take your armor off. That's fine. You still have to make a stealth check.
Yep.
Falls off the Pegasus.
I just
she
like
didn't
picturing Seisha like really carefully like putting her chest plate down and like getting everything off. Like,
Oh yeah, and what provides time for Seisha to like fully get everything settled? I stop at a fountain briefly.
Just some light refreshments.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
A Paladin's 11.
What's your passive?
19. I
Behind
see
you
her.
is just
So stealthy.
I think I recognize it's Seisha and I don't
Like
say
someone
anything.
running with a pocket
I
full of
kind of let her
change.
just have it.
You're so good
Like
to
a
me.
skinny tree.
Is it Shaq? Like the Shaq
Yes.
meme? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see that she has gone through so much effort to have taken her armor off, so I'm just gonna let her have this one.
I can't see them. They can't see me.
Yes, she is totally ostriching this.
And she begins like kind of wandering a little bit around the temple district for a little bit before finally settling in front of Selune's temple. She waits.
You mean Sahanin?
Yes, Sahanin. The
elven god.
Yes. And she starts to climb the stairs and then steps back down the stairs and then climbs them again and goes to open the door and then stops and like kind of sits there for a second.
Insight.
Roll it. What's your insight? I don't know what to tell you based off of a no number.
Okay. 26.
She is nervous.
I've been drinking all that water.
She's been drinking a lot of salt water. So she's probably a little shaky as well. She seems fearful in a reverent way, though. She seems to be going over something in her head the same way she was before she approached the Seelie. Nope, the Unseelie.
Right.
And then eventually she pulls open the door to the temple to see what kind of carnage is in there based off of the battles.
You see, most of the people have already been healed. A lot of the damages, like the more horrific ones, is what you came into earlier in the day. Knowing that you probably came in at the very tail end, maybe an hour or two after the combat had ended. Most of the people here tonight are prepping for the moonlight ceremonies.
She kind of walks in waiting to be greeted like by a receptionist, because all the other temples she's walked into, it's been met with like a full force immediately. So she just kind of stands in the foyer for a second before realizing that like everyone else is kind of busy.
Do you have an appointment?
Right.
As you walk up, you see that this is 2 spires, obviously made of moonstone. And there, as you walk in, you see that the top of this, you're unsure as if this temple has no roof, or if it is just illusioned a way to show the sky. You see that there is a bunch of femme-presenting priestesses and acolytes and things like that. There are some males, but it seems to be more heavily female, as Sahanin is one of Angarath, the Trinity Queen. But the one heading, like, on seemingly commanding and getting everything prepared, and the one that most people come talking to, is a Sun Elven woman. She wears a light white gown covered in some leathers, carries a staff that comes up and wraps around what looks to be a silver orb, very much moon-like. And oh man, I could look it up real quick, but whatever the moon will be tonight, you see that is what the orb is fashioned into.
That's cool.
She has some paintings across her face that look ready for a ceremonial ritual, and she has the features of a sun elf, and looks strikingly similar to the dead council member, as you had learned that his sister was the head priestess of Sahanin's temple.
Awkward.
Hey, I didn't kill him, so. Vinley begins to approach her.
Okay.
Excuse me. She's kind of like stumbling. It appears y'all are all getting ready for your rituals. Would it be okay if I sat in for these? Or possibly even helped? My name's Vinley, and I don't know.
I'm Solnia.
Soliania.
That's close. I was like, I remember something like that. I'm Soliania. Welcome, Finley.
Thank
we are praying for those lost in the battle.
For all of them.
Yes.
And she holds eye contact deliberately with her for a moment to say, for all of them. It's the tragic things when people are tempted. It's even more tragic when innocence is lost. Listen, I'm going to be honest. This... I don't know. It just feels like... Do you ever have crises of faith, Priestess Eclipse?
No.
Damn.
Wrong person to ask.
Fair.
Bathing robes.
Do I get the sense that
What
she...
do you mean?
Like a crisis, you get new information and everything you ever thought was a lie, and the entirety of your faith has just been a misunderstanding.
I have never been led astray by the Moonweaver. I follow the moonlight where it goes, and through her grace and love, I know that I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Have you ever met her?
I have talked to her many times. She speaks to and through me.
Is she kind?
Exceedingly.
She looks back up at the sky. Do you think, is there a private alcove I could borrow for a little bit? Perhaps to work through some things? Listen, I know you don't probably know me, but you may in the coming days.
Is there a question I can help you with? You seem lost.
Yeah, I'm very lost. And it feels like the only thing I can count on anymore is that every night she will be here. She is the only thing I've been able to grasp onto as some sort of guiding light. I don't know how to ask her. I don't know what to ask. And I don't know what answer I want to hear. I want something more. I don't want to be a conduit anymore.
It sounds like only you can answer those questions. But she can help you find your way. Do you consider yourself a religious person?
Well, I think a moron would deny the existence of the gods. I think a fool would denounce them. There have been very few creatures in existence that I have felt anything warm towards.
Some say faith is blind.
It feels that way. This is all very weird for me, I'm sorry. Perhaps this was a mistake.
Why are you here?
Because I met her. She came to me. She gave me something. And when it touched my head, it changed me. People could see through me. And I loved it. People knew who I was. I just want to feel that again. I want to be embraced. And she kind of lowers her head. I just want to know that there's someone up there who genuinely does like me. And I called you Eclipse earlier because you're a sun elf, and I thought it was a funny joke and you didn't pick it up, and now I'm explaining the joke and it makes it less funny.
I think Seisha's like at the window, just peeking and reading their lips, and when Venley starts doing this, she's like...
One of the acolytes is probably like...
I'm trying to trim these rose bushes. Never mind. Go ahead.
We cannot expect the gods to solve our problems for us, but in their teachings and guidance, we can find ourselves. But we cannot serve them in the hopes of being liked. Many find faults or dark gods this way.
Oh, yeah.
Instead, we should use her light to help illuminate those dark places and find our path.
Finley begins full weeping. She's like, I see why people like religion so much. That was very beautifully put. There's tears just coming. She's like...
As you said, she is always with us. Even when the moon wanes, even though we cannot see it, her light still shines upon us.
I suppose you're right. Even in the darkest nights.
And even when the sun takes the sky, she is still there.
She looks up again, trying, and the moon is visible yet?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it is definitely like afternoon. It's not dark yet, but just like we can see our moon during the day, you can see Sahanin or Salune.
That's incredibly comforting from a logical standpoint. Is there something I could... Well, that doesn't seem right. I was going to say purchase. I'm from Waterdeep. Well, I'm from here, but I lived in... Could I perhaps get a holy symbol of her? To walk with her?
Do you wish to accept her grace and bathe in her moonlight?
I do.
Then she shall see you for who you truly are.
And she will take you to a private chamber. There is a pool of water that she will bless with moonlight.
Don't worry about it. It's a Fae thing, I promise.
As like basically with moonbeam, right? In this pool, and she instructs you to, after she leaves, to disrobe completely. Yep. Into your most bare form, and bathe in the moonlight as you accept the grace of Sahanin.
And I do so. And I float there in the moonbeam. And I look up, and Vinley that kind of speaking where you don't even fully realize that you're speaking, like when you're reading something and you're just idly reading it out loud. Has her eyes closed, and she says, I don't know what it meant when you came to me in the high forest. But I know what it meant to me when I was a little girl. You were the only one watching over me. And hey, who knows, you probably sent the Maelzorn to help me as well. So thank you. I hope to do you proud.
You are not met with any words, but you feel accepted.
Feels as though through the moonlight, it feels as though a set of arms are wrapped around your neck. As you were embraced in this hug.
I think the last word that kind of whispers out of her mouth as she kind of lulls into a little bit of a sleep in this salt water, she goes, Mother. As she falls asleep with a smile on her face for a little bit.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. There's a good hour that you do not see Vinley.
I just sit against the building and wait for her to come out. Seisha just kind of sits there and reflects on the nature of faith.
And as you're watching, you see that the reason why these particular maidens are prepping this moonlight ritual is because Sahaneen is the one that ushers the souls to Arvindor and watches over the dead of the elves.
Okay.
Yep.
And she just waits.
Yep. And a certain amount of time passes, and eventually you come out.
And I...
Can I reroll stealth?
If you so wish.
I do. It's probably going to be worse.
I think at this point, Vinley just kind of assumes that Seisha has left.
No, that's a 9.
Oh. She is walking down the steps and she stops and then turns.
And, like, there's a bush, and Seisha's just, like, she is thoroughly convinced that she is blended and invisible. But, like, her hair is resting on the top of the bush, so it's got, like, this big red hair jacket, and you just see little eyes peeking out, and a little bit of fog.
I think Finley does her best to kind of hide the fact that she's seen her.
Got it?
And basically just walks right up to her and is like, oh, if only I had a friend to walk home with.
Oh, Finley, what are you doing here?
How fortuitous.
Isn't this convenient? I was looking at the... There's no flowers, like, right here. I was looking at the
foliage.
Bush!
Flabush.
The flabush.
The flabush!
Obviously a fey bush.
Well, yeah. That's
Clearly,
totally what I said.
subspecies.
Yeah. Do you want to walk back?
Absolutely.
And mechanically, for our viewers, and for the rest of those at the table, what was that?
That was the process of Vinley letting go of her past and letting go of being a death cleric.
Ooh. What?
And transitioning to becoming a twilight cleric of Sahaneen.
Oh! I made a smart ass remark and I feel like an asshole.
Way to go, Ethan.
So,
well, I was struggling not to be like, what question you want to ask? And just like, can I get a sip of that water? Or just a small cup, I swear to God.
Is that holy water right there? You gonna finish that?
What are you gonna do with that after you dunk it?
Yeah. Is there like a
Now we
cleanliness?
need, like starry friendship bracelets now.
Yeah, because I actually know the spell Moonbeam now.
Daylight.
It's like, I brought my own straw, it's cool.
We can mix shit up.
Oh, Ethan's a little.
You good?
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay.
I feel better than I have ever felt.
V. Eventually, as you make your way back to the palace, you send Misty off to wherever Misty goes.
I go on, get girl, and like smacks her butt, and then it goes somewhere, and she's like, I think it knows.
Gallops away and dissipates into mist.
Yep.
Go on, get.
And as you're heading up the stairs into the palace and you into the hallway, you hear a voice behind you. Goliath, a word.
Yeah.
And
She turns around.
you see the greenish mithril full plate clad elderly elf Valagar. Apologies, I never got your name.
V.
V.
Where do you want to go?
I want to thank you for defending my home.
Oh, I mean, it's kind of historically what we do, so you're welcome.
Walk with me.
Okay.
I can see by the way you carry yourself that you too have made many hard choices.
I don't really know how to take that, to be completely honest with you. But I think thanks.
Take it however you wish.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been like the easiest time. I'm sorry you've been going through hard times too.
Well, life is not supposed to be easy. Especially if we devote ourselves to a cause. Mine is to my people. I took an oath to protect this kingdom, the crown, and all those within it. As your acquaintance and friend pointed out, I have failed many times.
Oh. Oof. I'm sorry that they did that. Pointed it out, I mean, it's kind of harsh.
But it is the truth. It was close to going against my honor, but I cannot fault the truth, no matter how hard that truth is.
Yeah, I guess if you did, you would just be in denial.
Indeed. One thing I noticed is that, much like me, you tend to be a martial combatant in the sense of, and he'll kind of like motion to the longsword and shield on his back. And not, let's just say, those like us, when things fly, it's annoying.
Yeah, it is.
I can use a bow quite well, but it is not my preferred method.
I don't ever use a bow.
The High Druid told me what you did to protect our afterlife. The tree of our people. My friend, Lammerwill, spoke highly of you and what you have done for your people.
I mean, saving the tree was kind of the least we could do, I feel like.
I would like to offer you a gift
Oh.
as a way of saying thank you. And hopefully something that can aid you in your shortcomings.
Is it a bow?
It is not.
Okay, good. Because last time I tried to use a bow, I broke it. So I'd feel terrible if you like gave
It is
me
fine.
and I broke it.
I would not. It is a weapon that plays to your strength.
Okay.
And will lead you into an armory. And there is mithril suits of armor, various elven bows and swords and other things, but he walks over to a rack and will pull off a javelin.
Oh.
And on the javelin is the straight shaft, but then on the end it forks into a lightning bolt.
That's pretty cool. What does just cool design, or does it do something?
It does. You throw this, and you speak a command word, and this will turn into a bolt of lightning.
Are you like not allowed to say the command word around it because it would like turn into a bolt of lightning, or like do I just make up a command word? Do I just yell light?
I'm scared.
It is the elvish. It is the elven word for lightning.
Okay.
And
Which is coincidentally lightning.
We'll tell you the command word.
There's a couple apostrophes, but it's pronounced the same.
But once a day, when you hurl this, it will turn into a lightning bolt that will pierce through any who stand in its line.
And then I go pick it up.
This particular item
Okay.
has been enchanted by one of the elven engineers. That even when you do not use the command word, it will return to your hand.
Okay, that's incredibly useful. Thank you, because man, I have lost so many javelins throughout just the
He
last
just
like
breaks all her javelins.
months. I don't know, time.
But clarification: you can only cause the lightning bolt once per day.
But I can keep using the javelin, and that is all I need to know, because boy, I'm tired of restocking my javelin supply.
And so you can, on your character sheet, add a javelin of lightning.
Yay!
That's so exciting. You have way too much money, V. Holy crap.
It's so weird how these people don't ever go shopping.
I go shopping. I used to have a lot more gold. Well, I'm at 700 right now.
You know what she's never bought though? A handkerchief.
No, Kleenexes.
Oh, I have more than you.
See?
You want one? You doesn't have one, but
But
We
yeah,
could
so
destabilize an economy.
so when you activate it as a bolt of lightning, you will still make an attack roll. The individual, if you hit, will take the javelin damage plus 46 lightning, and everybody in the line will make a dex save and will take 46 lightning if they fail, or half as much when they fail.
Diggity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn!
So like,
Excellent.
this is your target.
Mental note: don't piss V off.
Don't fly away from me. Don't you fly away from me.
That mental note was already there. Like, day one, don't piss off V.
Don't piss. I mean, I am like over 7 feet tall. It's just kind of like a general rule when someone happens to be that tall.
You're literally a skyscraper to Karina.
Yeah.
Although technically, I am a changeling.
Yeah, and I'm 5 inches shorter than you.
But is there anything else in that scene?
Nope.
Oh, okay, and so if there's nothing else anybody wants to do, we can either rest for the night, or you can make your way into the first day of the Feywild.
My vote is we go, but unless anybody else has a good reason why we shouldn't. I was just going to ask, did we get a chance to short rest during all that?
Oh, 100% you can
Right.
short rest.
Okay. Then yeah, I say let's fucking go.
I agree with Harold. I think we're all rested.
Yeah. I do want to say goodbye.
Sure.
To a couple of people before we leave. I want to say goodbye to Prince Lamaril.
Prince Lamaril greets you all at some point. You can even be ushered back to your private sanctum.
I don't
that
want to
you
go back
were.
in that room. That's scary.
Wait a second. Where's Poopsie?
That's literally, I'm so glad you said that.
I was going to bring up that as well.
Oh,
Me and Rick were talking about it.
Oh, yeah. Poopsie. Yeah.
Well, again, he'll say thank you for everything, and I'm going to be king tomorrow.
You are.
That's really cool.
Suits you.
Congratulations.
The council has agreed. Pretty sure my mother had a heavy hand in influencing them, but
You're welcome.
She loves you very much, I think, if that's what helps.
No. It's not. I think in my younger days, this is not something I would ever want, but I think I'm ready. And if I'm not, I need to be. So, you all will always have a home, a sanctuary here on Evermeet. Count yourselves among the very few blessed of Shah Kassir.
Thank you.
I need to get our friend.
I was about to ask.
Yes, I think there needs to be a new Lascalar.
That's so much better than what I had planned to suggest. Have you ever heard of a sensitivity advisor?
I will be the council's sensitivity advisor. I've spent many years away from this island, and I can instruct them in the ways of how to present themselves to other people.
Well, actually, if you're looking to outsource that so it's not the king doing that, give me a few years and I know a very charming fellow who would love to run that.
What is a few years, but a few days to us?
You can always set up an external island, one that visitors could come in so they're not on your mainland. My friend Ellis set it up back where I'm from. It was lovely.
Let me guess, it's a sun elf.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any idea what it took to make this island? To make another one would be astronomically just.
They have all the money.
But what is a few years?
But a few days, yes. Maybe I'll speak to the Aquan elves. I forget what they are.
Do you not have turtles that are the size of islands here?
And he looks at you and he goes, "There is one, but he's a protector."
You only have one?
There's one here.
Oh, I mean like higher one.
We've already.
And you can be an island.
The difficulty of that is that it can't submerge itself and attack any warring ships that come to, because we would be submerging an entire island of people.
No, not the protector. You don't have more than one giant turtle here? That's weird.
No, we have a giant turtle, we have a kraken, we have a leviathan, we have
I'm glad
a
you
tempest.
collected them all.
Yeah, big bird.
Very big things.
What, like it's hard?
Yes, this anyways, let them tell you all of the protections that we have in this island. It is astronomical that
I'm
we actually
sure
were
it's
able
great.
to make it. If it wasn't for my King's Blade, and he pulls it out kind of nonchalantly now, and you see this eloquently made, like, perfect blade that glows with moonlight. And he goes, this guided us here, and now I'm going to be king, and I need to make a new pirate. I have a lot to do.
You're gonna be okay.
You're going to be perfect.
No one's perfect.
You're gonna be a good king.
I can be the best that I can be.
And that's
Yes.
perfect.
And besides all that, wasn't it a lot of fun making our way here, doing all the stuff, going through the adventure, getting you in the seat? I mean, sure, there was a lot of tragic, awful things along the way, but looking back on it all, we just made another step in saving the world, and you were a part of it.
Oh, yes, and thank you for finding me and the adventure we went on. I hope one day I can take a small leave of absence and visit you all.
You are king now.
We waiting.
I feel like that is very...
I'm gonna need like a month heads up before you show up at our bar, okay?
I'll give you 2 days.
That's basically a month, I think.
That sometimes also means a second. When I asked how long I've been here, some told me a month, some told me 10 years, and one of them told me like 2 microseconds.
I think they were messing with you, Shervy.
Where you are currently, time is time. Where you were before, because I think you came in with the fake hordes.
Yeah. Yes.
Time is a soup.
That's, yes. It's very slurpy sometimes.
Yes.
All right. It's been lovely. I love you so much as my king. And your mom is great.
She's a Fey queen now. I have a lot of things to do. I have an entire city to console. And
I'm sure your speech will be perfect as she starts to walk away.
and whispers to both of the bards, if you guys just like leave a note with some like high pointers, some good like big words that it's really will inspire the people. I think I got. This is just a lot to take in. I'm gonna be a king. It's just like being a captain. That's what he says. Just like being a captain. Just like being a captain.
I was just a big stationary boat.
Okay, and then Shirley like turns around and she quickly starts writing something, and it's essentially a poem about just using whatever he's been saying about being a pirate, about being a captain, about leadership, and then just all of her knowledge from her parents that she's gotten. And she kind of just writes down a self-motivational speech. It's not even a speech for everybody else because she's just like, I don't know what your people are like. So she wrote something down, and then she's like, perhaps just something, this might help you yourself make your speech, because honestly, the best ones come from who you are. And I don't think we can give you any words that you already do not know to say.
I will clap a hand on his shoulder and say, I'll tell you, Lamaril, the same thing I tell everybody. You plan too much, you lose the magic.
Also, he really likes good toilets, so maybe that might help, just sitting on a throne.
There are no toilets here, Shervy. I will tell you all about it on the trip. It's crazy.
Oh.
I know he's told many times that he's looking for a good one. Thank you very much.
If you're looking for safe counsel, Ameria, and was it Valagar? And Valagar. They're truly loyal.
And the person who didn't like your mother. I like her. Keep her around.
Oh, and Tom needs a promotion. And so does his partner, whose name I can't think of, but the two that watch the door here, promotions for both of them. And don't ever play them in paper chess. They always win.
I will speak to the Knight Commander Valagar to see if he has any, and there probably are some open positions.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah. Made me feel good.
These are good notes. I trust the council.
We trust you. We should get going.
Yeah. I guess have fun in the Feywilds.
Oh, I have fun everywhere I go. And I wink at him again, and I'll give a big bow. Like, you better get used to this. And then I'll head off with the others.
No, please
and
stop.
Then she just starts bowing.
Stop. And as he's like saying stop, at first is like, no, don't do it. And then he's like, no, you're too much.
Oh, no.
Right, this is kind of fun. But then he'll leave. But also give you a bow.
Before he does, I reach into my pouch and I pull up a rolled up parchment. And I hold it out to him. Just remember where you've been and what you've learned. And it is a map of the Sword Coast, drawn by Devin Rue.
Just Rue.
It's just Rue.
Oh, it's just Rue? Okay.
Yep. But yes, and I'll take it, and he goes, my memories were restored. Looks over to Vinley. I will
walking
not
away.
forget, but this is very nice in case I ever get lost.
When it's time to visit.
I will come say hey, have a drink, wander the streets of Waterdeep once again.
We have a wonderful bar.
Perfect.
Spirits of Troll Skull.
It's on the upper side, not the Skullport, correct?
Correct. Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
All right. I was just wondering the name. Just okay.
No, we have a ghost.
Good.
It's a
All right,
poltergeist.
sounds great. I'll keep going.
He tends bar.
I have to go speak to the jailers until leave.
And really quickly, I want to stop by Amiria's room by myself.
Okay.
Knock on the door.
Eventually it opens.
Hello.
Sister?
Looks like I'm heading out. Again.
How long?
With the Fae, you never know. Hopefully not too long. I will be back, though. And she reaches into her bag of holding. I got this. I got this when I thought you wanted to kill me. I got this in the hopes that it would make someone else's life better. And she reaches in and she starts to pull something out and she says, "But I am so thankful that I got to make your life better." And she holds out a small beholder plushie where the eyes follow you wherever you go.
Yeah.
And she says, "This is one of my favorite things."
You are so weird.
I know. I could have given you an eye from one of those, like an actual eye.
You are so weird.
Do you want teeth?
Oh, she's fine, thank you.
The most sister reaction I've ever heard. I'm not
Appreciate what you already have.
It's like watching me and my wife,
Yeah.
honestly.
Do you want teeth? I love you, Amiria. And I am so glad that I finally get to say that and not feel awful about myself.
I'll get out.
You deserve to be the Archdruid. This was not a manipulation, and when I come back, you won't be the only one in a position of power.
Just make sure that you don't do anything drastic or dark.
I'm so happy you're not a Fae. I absolutely won't.
Sorry.
At least too dark.
That I can promise. I have too much to come back to. As she turns and starts to walk away.
And she'll stop you, say, "It's not your fault."
Nor is it yours.
We are not the products of our abuse, our trauma.
We are what we do with it after.
Let's try and make sure that others do not suffer as we did.
I guarantee it. And then she disappears. As like a Maleficent witch moment.
And
but she's just around the corner because it was Misty Step.
yeah. And she goes, "If you're invisible, or if you can hear me, I love you too." You're still a shit.
And then she runs to catch up with the BFGs.
It's so weird.
That's what I was expecting. Like, God damn it, you're so weird. Shut up.
But
Realize I needed this until now.
You're coming with us, right, Shirley?
Yes, of course. I mean, as long as you're still going to the, what was her name?
oh, but your grandmother Winter.
I've been told, well, I need to make my way to a person named Grandmother Winter, but if there's something, if that's not the way place you're going to.
Very convenient.
It's where we're going, but in an
Yes.
effort to avoid saying powerful names, we've just been referring to her as Grandma Mama.
Mama.
Yeah, like 3 Ma's, because real powerful Grandma Mama.
You're looking for her too?
I thought it was na 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 na.
That
is as I joined.
Phenomena.
That earworm comes back.
Grandma Mama.
Grandmama.
Oh, yes, I'm summoned. I'm Haramara.
Faye just shows up. Oh yeah,
Haramara is the
But yeah,
Oh,
we're
no,
all
sorry.
heading the same direction you are, Shirley. We'd love if you'd come with us.
Why are you going to find her?
I've been told that she might know where to go for my family.
Do you know who she is?
Not particularly. It's just.
Do not make any deals with her.
Oh, okay.
Do not give her anything.
Oh, I mean, I don't really have much to give.
Not even your name.
She is the mother of hags, basically.
Oh. I mean, okay. I will. Well, then maybe I shouldn't talk.
No. Oh, you. I totally forgot to mention. One of Seisha's eyes is just this swirling scar down her face, and one of her eyes is just swirling mist.
Seisha
coming out.
turns to Shirley for the first time.
This whole time, Sherry's been talking to half of Stacia's
Like,
face.
well, also, she
Scarface.
had her hair like swooped over her eyes so that
She's
she didn't
also
freak
been,
out the
like,
party.
on one side
It's
of
not a
Stacia this whole
phase,
time,
Mom.
and Stacia finally turns.
And as soon as she sees that, she goes, "Oh," and she looks at you, and then all she asks is, "You're not hurt, right?"
Oh, I'm very hurt.
Well, you're here.
I am. And so are you.
Speaking of being here,
I.
No, that one's really beautiful too. I've seen many, many times.
Thank you.
speaking of being here,
Let's go not make a deal.
yeah, have you met Karina and my girlfriend?
No, I mean,
Oh!
I've seen them.
Not properly. Hello.
This is Karina.
I'm to understand you're not from here?
Not particular. I mean, do you mean like in this location, or
Like-
I'm kind of not from anywhere at this point. I've kind of been.
Me
around.
too.
Yeah.
I'm kind of not from anywhere either.
Oh, well, I mean, here's to finding the place then, eh?
Yeah.
I really like your dress.
Oh, thank you. I like your everything.
Oh, well, hopefully this is not, this is generally temporary. I kind of change on the whim, so I hope it stays that way for you. But
Oh, I'm sure anything's great. You know, sometimes it's the personality that makes it pretty.
well then I'll do my best. But, where are you guys going to see?
Oh, wait.
Petunia.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yes,
Petunia.
Yes. Hi.
I'm Petunia.
You look lovely.
If she falls, don't worry about it. She's fine.
Oh,
She and Harold are sweethearts.
And we're actually co-workers as well.
oh dear.
It's not
That's
very
amazing.
exciting, but it is a connection, so...
Just to keep
Literally
you
pretend to each other.
informed.
That gives me so much joy. I'm glad to see you found someone.
Are you talking to me or her?
I mean,
Because
Probably both.
probably both. Rock on.
Yes.
Petunia is actually one of the only people who is actually smarter than me.
Petunia's the
Oh, don't
best
say
of us,
that.
let's be
I
honest.
just have read a lot of books and done dissertations on hags. So, it's a good thing we're going where we're, well, okay, it's not a good thing we're going. Anyway, intelligence is subjective.
We're going to go try to get her to take Auntie Agnes, the hag that...
Let's call her AA. Because I don't want to say her name.
That's fair. Bitch tits. The hag that...
It's almost like calamari.
We have a previous... The hag that killed my mom is no longer a hag, so we're going to try to get her hag powers taken away.
If she's if she's not a hag anymore, how does she? I trust you. That makes sense. I'm sure.
She's not Fae anymore.
Oh, okay.
She is so twisted and corrupted by the Elder Eye. She is something else.
An abomination?
Yeah.
I got called that a lot.
Yeah, this one's a little different.
I think she's more than an abomination. I think she's...
Oh, she definitely is, but she's not a hag.
abhorrent.
She's not a hag, and that's the important thing. So we're going to see if we can get her time
In trouble.
destroyed and get her in a little trouble.
Oh.
Petunia, you can make an Arcana or History check. This is your expertise, so...
I too, if I may, as history is one of the things that Cherie looks up or looks to.
I'll go with history. I haven't done that one.
I see. Oh, her.
Well,
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
It's a natural one, but it doesn't really mean anything.
Because you can re-roll
You can re-roll that.
Yeah.
You can.
My heart. It almost
That's better. I got 29.
There we go.
29? Okay.
Only.
So, Seisha keeps talking about in this fear of Auntie Agnes not being a hag anymore, but you know of another hag that lore-wise says was cast out from the Feywilds and into the Nine Hells as night hags who had made deals with devils, have been corrupted in their bloodline, but are still technically hags.
Even though they're not Fae anymore.
Okay.
Boo.
Well, I mean, it's not unheard of that hags get, kicked out. I mean, night hags are a whole thing, and they're not really hags. They're worse. I guess that's subjective, depending on. But yeah, it's not unheard of. People have been cast out. Hags have been cast out before.
As usual, I'm lost.
It was a paper. It's longer to. It's easier. It's better to read it than for me to explain it.
How many pages?
I'd have to go back and count.
Cliff notes are great.
Bullet points for Harold.
I would probably like those bullet points as well, please.
Absolutely.
Well, let's go on a journey.
Let's just, before we step foot into the Feywild, let's not make deals. Let's get out of here without making a deal and just delivering information.
I do my best to not make deals in general.
Yeah, you're really good at that.
I'm super good at not making deals. I don't wheel and deal.
I'm just going to remind you guys
I think
that we were
I'd forgive
told
him.
specifically that
jumps.
if we did this, we'd likely have to give something to Grandmama.
If
No.
I don't think we have to. I think we just go in and deliver news and
We're
let
giving
her
her the
do with
news.
it as she may.
Harold nods and looks down very, very, waits until Seisha's not looking. And looks down at the morbid makeup and thinks to himself, we don't have to give up anything if I can sneak that name out of the book. And then he looks at them and he goes, all right, let's go.
And there's an overwhelming feeling of sadness that just overtakes all of you.
Oh.
And that feeling when you're out and when you're literally outside right now, and that cold air hits your lungs, that stinging sensation, and you hear, "Are we ready to go?"
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yes.
As I said before, I have very little power over the Mercandraw, so I cannot send you there. but I can send you to the forest just beyond it. It is the Kaliak. It is tied to the Tree of Souls through the wilds. The wild's Tree of Infinity. The only warning I give you is do not harm the trees under any circumstance, for timber or medicinal purposes. I would even be wary of how I spoke about the forest. Be careful where you step. I cannot protect you from the Archfey protecting their domains of delight. And Day Lily is sad and vengeful creature.
Petunia and Shervy, if you would like to roll a history or arcana.
Hell yeah.
Hell
That's a
Petunia,
28.
because you're, very attuned to the Feywild and your
Dissertations.
research, and you were just there and probably heard some things. But what did you get?
A 28.
15.
15 is the DC, so you both know. Legends say that Daylily was once a dryad whose many children in the material realm were cut down by a woodsman. It is said she slew him by cursing his heartlessness through his axe, causing it to turn against himself with every swing towards her children. With each dryad he slew, the axe broke or missed and found its purchase in his own body instead, severing his limbs and causing harm to his form. They say his vengeance turned him to Gond, the god of invention, and the antithesis to nature. In his hate, he had each limb reconstructed and fitted with a prosthetic. They say he is now wandering, lost in the endless forests, as a construct of Gond, completely void of his humanity, tormented by the ever-growing Kaliak, and Daylily is said to be anchored to the Tree of Infinity, sitting on her rooted throne, continuing her revenge, and each tree sprouted from her fey court is an extension of her very will. Mortals fear that it is fated to consume all of existence in defiance of mankind who sought to kill nature. But the Fae say that the mortals only seal their fate because in their fear, they continue to cut down trees, which only fuels the Kaliak forest. That's where y'all are headed.
Yeah.
That's
Petunia will relay that, and she'll go, I'm gonna need help watching where I step.
Perhaps we should be especially extra careful, and also maybe as compassionate as we can. It seems there's a lot of sadness and pain and anger in this woods.
I'm not really in the mood to say it, but I mean, can you imagine, like, you swing and break an axe and I lodge it in your leg and think to yourself, I'm gonna try again? Anyway, let's keep going.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Like his lover bee.
Thank you again.
When you are ready to return, and you are beyond the Merkendraw once again, say my name 3 times, and I will hear you. And we'll look to you. My name.
And then Vinley gives a deeper bow.
And will plane shift you all?
I grab onto the hands of everyone around me.
And there is that
Pinch your left thumb.
feeling again of just pure sadness and loss.
And the billowing wind radiates around her and just extends in this pure darkness that envelops you all. Harold, you can still see her form and those around you, but you see everything that is around you shift and change on the other side of the darkness.
And as the palace you're standing in, and that feeling almost dissipates at once as you are now standing in a forest, and that overwhelming oppression of sadness lifts from you like a blanket.
Throw up.
And that is where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Surprise, we have a guest next week.
You sneaky snake.
Yeah,
We've been together
back
all
at the
week and you
table.
hit that.
Sadly, we will not have Cadkins at the table next week. But
I know.
But we were so happy for you to be here this week.
Absolutely.
I mean, you could be here. Does this smell like chloroform?
Anyways, thank you all so much for joining us. Welcome back, Cadkins. We missed you. Welcome back, KP. We cannot wait to have you back next week. If you haven't done so already, please enter #Eldritch into the chat. We're going to be pulling those winners any second now, and I promise I will be
Karina
saying
thinks
this.
Shirley is the coolest person she's ever met.
She is. Shirley is the coolest person.
Karina's like, oh my gosh, she's so cool.
Shirley is too kind to be bamboozled by Faye. That says something.
Yeah.
All right,
Karina's just a helpless lesbian.
Winner of the such a great name.
That's a good name.
Yeah. Congratulations, Apple McSauce Man.
Make sure your Twitch whispers are open and active so that we can get in contact with you.
But congrats to you, Apple McSauce Man.
Hell yeah. That's a Faye if I've ever heard one.
We read all your comics.
Man, who did you sell your name to?
Be excellent to each other.
May you always roll with advantage. Good night, everybody.